over GD.
Well, out of
the game very soon, and these are the numbers. We talked about this in the pre-show. We're sort of expecting to see.
Expected here. Most of the teams just do not know what to expect from the others in terms of drop spot, in terms of rotation. They have to stay on their tippy toes and sneak around these compounds as best possible. And if that fails, they'll just go all out, just like what EVOS did earlier. But I'll have to say, Demon's Pride was not as big a threat as Falcons. Peter with the car 98 takes down Aim God. Good shot of nowhere. TC joining the party as well. Two teams beating the players. EVOS divided. Defending champions might get taken out a bit too early here.
It's honestly insane. EVOS come back into the game. He really gets completely annihilated. And now we're on a rampage. Onto the player of DEC. The pressure is on, and DEC can't do anything about it.
Titans Esports Club, what do you have in
Allah
you?
shesh, wait,
The Red Hawks of the past have not been able to fly very far, but this time around, picking up some crucial early points. They do have the vending machine beside their final surviving player, but it looks like it's going to be a rough one as TEC bows out as well.
There's just so many things happening around the map right now as we're looking here. Loud and EVOS in one compound in the corner. GD trying to rotate into the zone as well as it's just slowly hectic right now.
Rough fight here for GD. They take on the champions of the Esports World Cup 2024 in Falcons. But GD themselves, they're very sound in terms of mechanically able squad in the world of Free Fire. This battle is going to be a rough one for them. Now they're trying to sneak outside the compound of the blue zone here. They get scanned out by the binoculars as well. Falcons does have a tad bit of information, but David 444 again the most lethal player on the side of Gun Dynasty.
game sound game sound আপনারা ডিসাইড করেন ভাই কি করব
they do have the electrotherapy on their side. Valiant dash breaks down their defenses. Racha with the M590, but David again lethal with the Mag 7 pops his head. Vega takes out on fire, and let him showing you exactly what they can do on the world stage.
This is crazy. That circle
এখন থেকে
rotation
কথা বলতেছ না কি রে ভাই কার কথা শুনতেছেন আপনি
this rotation comes through. Middle circle full in control of Cloud here as we look at the Falcons try to find their way into the zone and they're not stopping.
আরে সবাই অনেক আর্লি মরে গেছে অনেক দ্রুত ফাইট করতেছে থার্ড পার্টির উপর খেলা চলতেছে
Pina found by DD already and quickly annihilated. Amazing work coming from the Limit alone as Vegeta comes through. Limit tries to find a pick off here and he's doing it out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, David got taken down once again, but he's the rusher. He's very aggressive.
The
backup from Blaine, it is absolutely perfect. Now, we used to see David 444 play for Zeus Esports on the Free Fire World Series USA, and the guy was lighting up the battlefield. Recently acquired by Gun Dynasty. Good reason to stomp down these squads out here at the Esports World Cup. Let's see how far they can go. But Falcons are not out of it just yet, completing their full revival spree here. Back to a full squad, but can they loot up and be battle ready before the next circle?
Speaking of that as well, I mean, EVOS had so many close calls throughout this entire game. I think that was two times.
কাদের কিল বেশি ওরে জিডি দেই ভাঙজু চলতেছে
Middle of the circle already as On Fire runs for his life. Cypher going in for that chase. Gonna try to stay alive, but
সাউথ এশিয়ান শুধু একটা টিম আছে ডিআরএস টপ প্যাকেট বাকিগুলো
AGL one more to their name.
Yeah, On Fire just had no chance there in that situation. AGL just swooping on and spotting a little prey and showing that they can be a prime predator. But of course, that was a 2v1, a little bit of an unfair fight. Now a team that has been keeping very quiet is Buriram. They've managed to build a lot of respect for these other squads, especially here on the World Cup stage. Can this be their year? The third time here at EWC, and maybe the third time's the charm for the Thai squad.
Last movements now, we are seeing still DRS and PDX still very much outside the zone, really taking their time here. But DRS is slowly moving toward Pina and is making me a little bit nervous.
ডিসকর্ডে সাউন্ড কমাই, আরেকজন বলে ডিসকর্ডে সাউন্ড বাড়াইতে ভাই, গোলা টিপ্পা মাইরা ফেলবো ভাই, মাথা গরম হয়ে যাবে।
Constant organization on a global stage around the 2021-2023 timing, but they've been missing the past couple of years. Now back with a brand new roster. And on fire, man, Falcons just can't catch a break, can they? Gun Dynasty showing them
মাথাটা
exactly
গরম হবে,
who's
লাইভটা
going to
বন্ধ
be
করে
ruling
দিবে।
these lobbies from the get-go. On
টপ খেলা দেখে।
again. Just outnumbered the players on the side of Falcons. Yes, they did manage to run around getting those revives, but the team just spread out too thin on the battlefield.
আর একবার বলে ডিসকর্ড সাউন্ড নাই, আরেকবার বলে ডিসকর্ড সাউন্ড বন্ধ করে দিতে, আরেকবার বলে গেমার সাউন্ড কমাইতে, আরেকবার বলে বাড়াইতে, আর দেখবই না, কমেন্টই দেখবো না।
Able to come back into the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was just too broke. Even if he
কি
got
বলেন?
to a vending machine, he was quite fine in that situation.
না ডিসকর্ড সাউন্ড
Wasn't
আছে,
able
আছে
to
আমি
bring
সে
anyone
দেখতেছি,
back. He
আছে
was
বাইরে
looking
দিতেছি।
for those coins, and Takuri found some coins out of him instead.
কিরে কেলে কি করতেছে এগুলো?
Very interesting, AJ. Look at the
SHR match আছে না আজকে?
hanging on PDX as well. I wouldn't be surprised if a big fight were to happen around here,
Yeah.
and it's going to be fire.
কে বলে
Because
SHR
GD right
match
now
নেই?
so comfortable north and alone.
Absolutely. 5 teams out of the equation already. Paradox still alive and kicking alongside the Rail Soldiers. Picking up the Rail Soldiers.
সাউথ এশিয়ান ফাইট দেখবো।
Into some hot soup, and they're about to
সাউথ
get
এশিয়া
into
ভার্সেস
the game.
ওরে কিরে
Some good elimination.
What? ইয়ারে
Vega taken out as well.
আল্লাহ ভাঙা বলতে, আল্লাহ লাউডেস্ট পাশে টাটপাটি দিয়ে দিবে, আল্লাহ 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 শেষ,
Can they walk away?
লাউডেস্ট পাশে সমস্যা হয়ে যাবে।
Game one. Gun Dynasty with your final survivor. It's been a great run so far, but the vending machine a tad bit too far away from him.
আর আমাদের সাপোর্ট হচ্ছে সাউথ এশিয়া, সাউথ এশিয়া থেকে যদি কোনো টিম ভালো খেলে তাহলে আমাদেরই ভালো এটা, কারণ সাউথ এশিয়া থেকে সব প্লেয়ার আছে, কোনো টিমই ভালো খেলে নাই কখনো।
Trying to run away. Had the vehicle. Got sniped, quickly hopped on out of it to play the recovery. Now going to be tanking the damage from the blue. But he's looking for the vending machine. He's got enough points to bring the full squad back. All he needs to do is just run out a bullseye. But the problem is,
এই ম্যাচের বুয়ার চান্স লাউড বাই বসের মেবি
process of the opposite
দেখিনি,
team.
এবার ওয়েট করেন।
For an extra point and an extra team to eliminate.
How PDX is moving here, they're just trying to find a way into the game here.
গালাগালি করতেছি না ভাই, গালাগালি করা ভালো না।
Into the peripherals of Loud as well. Now Russia, big kill there. Onto a player.
আচ্ছা সব ভালো টিমই আছে, ইবস বুরিরাম এজি লাউড, লাউডের চান্স বেশি বুয়ানের,
Let's see if or not AGA.
লাউডের চান্স বেশি। আচ্ছা এজিরও চান্স আছে,
They're in a
Buena
great
chance
position
zero আছে।
here, but just a tad bit too close to the edge of the current zone, which is moving aggressively. The problem is going to be DRS for AJL as they try to rotate it. They do
বুরিরাম আর ইবসের ফাইট লাগবে।
cover. Gun Dynasty full revive, clutch play. The squad is back, but the circle is small.
এখানে গেছে মনে করে।
Guys, it's a big possibility here. Let's see how the luck is for the side of Gun Dynasty.
Interestingly enough as well, the rotations coming in, DRS very comfortable in the middle side area as well, as we see Snipe getting knocked out here by Trap. Immediately is sent to the lobby, but Takuri is the one that takes away that point.
The reigning defending champions EVOS can do. It has been a rough start for them, but recovery has been solid for EVOS. 6 eliminations, not too high, but it's not about the number of eliminations for EVOS. They just want to get to that final circle, safe and sound, just like what Buriram is doing. And I feel like that is going to be the sound strategy if you want to get into the grand finals as well as walk away with the championship at the end of the day. The game has turned around. It's no longer about pure domination on eliminations. It's all about, can you get the booyah when you truly need it, and you got to start practicing early.
I agree with you. I think Burn United has always liked that approach, right? They find that last possible moment to just really come in, steal away the booyah and those extra few points in the last few battles. We can see a few players taking a bit more damage in the rotations. GD comes through here, will cross paths with DRS. BN is already at the bottom side. You guys
Unfortunate for him. They have to pick him up. They have to defend.
ভাই এইটা লুট নিয়ে নিতে বলে।
It's going to be tough.
আচ্ছা এটা শেষ, ঠিক আছে। আল্লাহ এজি সমস্যা করে দিচ্ছে রে, এজি সমস্যা করে দিচ্ছে। এজি ঢুকবে কেমনে? এজি ঢুকার চান্স অনেক কম। ওরে ভালো ঢুকছে কি? সুন্দর ঢুকছে জোনে জিরেরা ফুল লুট পেয়ে গেছে বুঝছেন জিরেরা ফুল পেয়ে গেছে একদম
Now out and down for the count as DRS rushes through into the safer zone here. An angle onto Brum United. We see some utilities coming out, just really zone them away, but no one's being
Buriram, calm, collected, just taking advantage of any extra points they can find out there. Not getting too aggressive just yet, but now up against Gun Dynasty. Can we see Buriram shine, or will Gun Dynasty continue to stomp every single squad they come? Still alive and kicking. But now their super savior still alive and kicking. Gun Dynasty looking absolutely solid to build their dynasty here, right here on game one. Loud on the other hand, backing away. BZP tagged up from the back. Waka, Vegas taken out. It's DRS striking up against Gun Dynasty, and they've got 13 eliminations in the Nepali squad. Absolute wonder run so far on game one.
Yeah, and Loud has made a huge, I would say, tactical retreat. A lot of space held, a lot of cover as well built, but it doesn't stop the damage. Trying their way, their best to stay alive right now as BRU tries to put in the pressure onto their team. They can't do more than that. They do steal away the players of GD. One player knocked out already, and BRU already on a rampage on 2-5. Loud, 6 eliminations, putting the pressure onto Brum United. Not happening, staying alive despite the chunk of damage coming through for the util.
Yeah, Trap just playing true to his name, man. Bringing in the thrill of battle with the A124, trapping in Buriram. They could not use their active skills, and they actually had to wait that out. Quite a number of seconds lost already, but Buriram quickly recovering from that thrill of battle attack. Loud played the timing well, but Buriram had the extra layer of defense with those fences. And now here comes Takuri. God nades. Guaka finds Moshi. The sniper of Buriram's out of the equation, and Takuri can do a number on them. Can he nade out the full squad of Buriram? It goes wide a tad big. Now Takuri needs to become the doctor for the squad. David 444, the final player on the side of Gun Dynasty that's alive and kicking, but they've done well enough in this game. 17 eliminations strong. Final 4 teams, 4 regions in the final circle, and Gun Dynasty is the first one to tap out.
Yeah, it's insane now with Brum United waiting in the wings. Strokes trying to find a way to chunk down the damage on Brum United, but they have built a fortress. Wasana repositions, rushes through, trying to find a pickup, but he's not able to do so as BTP finds the members of Brum United. They're all knocked down. DRS in trouble.
It's all about the timing, and Loud knows that well. They move on in. They've already taken advantage with the initial knock. Takuri has got the quad in hand. Rate of fire up close and personal is going to be deadly. But if Loud continues to close down the distance, those M590s are going to be popping some heads for sure. Trap once again. Thrill of battle locked in. And you cannot use your active skills to take them on. But that knock buys them a little bit of extra time. What can Strowex do? It's a 1v3. He's got a sniper in hand. M590s loaded up on the side of Loud. It's a 3v1 easy play here. As Strowex jumps on back. Loud says absolutely not. They take away the first win. And Brazil showing that they are going to be making a lot of noise here on the stage.
They're loud, they're dominant, and they know exactly what they're doing. Knowing exactly when to attack and when to go for those tactical retreats. They built a massive wall for safety and kept the distance from them and the other teams. Amazing work.
Loud, 6th at the Esports World Cup 2024, but technically as Team Solid. A majority of the Team Solid players on Loud right now, and they are here to run circles around these teams. Again, Tash, I mentioned during the game, it's not about how many eliminations you get. It's all about strategizing your way towards that final circle, surviving long enough, and taking advantage of the right situations. And that was executed perfectly by this Brazilian squad.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see them as well. They weren't too flashy super early.
Yeah.
But we saw toward that mid-game, they made so much noise.
Oh, yeah.
They started to get really active. They started to really move around that map. And they're tactical on which fights they wanted to take.
Yes.
And which fights they decided to just leave alone.
And I have to say, it's Trap that was the mastermind of that battle, constantly pulling the timing perfectly for the side of Loud. If it wasn't for them, I think Buriram would have had an easier rotation in that final circle to avoid the battle. But the thrill of battle, and again, even in the final battle up against these players from the side of DRS, it was the thrill of battle that made the biggest of difference. And this guy is not just the support player who activates the thrill of battle from the back and then allows the rest of his team members to get the job done. He hops on into the fight as well with the M590. Phenomenal mechanical skills, phenomenal timing. Everything went well here for Loud, but I have to say that was a really messy lobby, because again, that's exactly what we expect here. Day one, game one, you barely know where your opponents are going to be dropping. I mean, you can go in and do a little bit of research, but it's really a toss of a coin at the end of the day. And I think Loud handled the situations out there really fine.
Yeah, and I think what's really exciting as well for me personally, I thought that today we're going to be seeing the rise of the underdogs, right? The more quieter teams that never really made that big splash quite yet, because that's usually how day one goes, because everyone's a little bit more cautious. Regardless, after this, we'll be seeing more of the Free Fire at EWC, so do not go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower.
Fly over to from Bangkok to Paris, and the weather is it's very hot right now, but right now we are good to go.
Good to go, well adjusted, even though, yeah, of course, it takes a lot and a while to get here. But speaking of contenders, who do you think is the biggest rival that you have on a World Cup right now? Because if we're talking about EFOS Divine, yes, they are the reigning champions, but it hasn't really been a great year for them.
ก็อยากสอบถามว่าคิดว่าทีมไหนที่จะเป็นว่าจักหรือว่าเป็นตัวที่แบบว่าเป็นทีมที่ทำให้เราเข้าถึงจุดที่เรียกว่าเราได้แชมป์ได้ยากที่สุดครับ
สำหรับผมก็ไม่มีนะครับเพราะว่าส่วนตัวก็คือน่าจะคิดว่าเป็นที่ตัวเองมากกว่าถ้าตัวเองในวันนั้นเล่นได้กันทุกคนก็น่าจะไม่มีปัญหาอะไรครับ
I think that there's none of the team that gonna play against us going to be like the obstacle for us to claim the champion titles, but the biggest obstacle going to be like ourselves and our players in the team. Like if we can play on the level that we practice, everything going to be fine for us.
Ooh, that is a great answer. I love your answer, by the way. Love the confidence. Is there anything you'd like to say to the other team that are also competing against you today?
มีอะไรอยากจะฝากถึงทีมอื่นๆที่จะเล่นกับเราในวันนี้บ้างไหมฮะ
ก็วันนี้ผมขอจองท็อป1ไว้ก่อนนะครับ
Well top 1 is mine
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I can feel the competition already. Thank you so much, Wasana. Thank you for having this interview. And thank you for watching us.
Welcome back, everyone. We start off our first match today hot and loud as Booyah is the one to get that first Booyah of the day.
It's nice to see the top 4 team within the first game in itself be from 4 different regions out here. Everybody's hungry. But what has been shocking the world is how Gun Dynasty is running the game out there. Eliminations-wise, they absolutely knocked the ball out of the park, right? You have to respect the absolute tenacity. They bumped into many squads and barely anyone was able to keep up with them. I mean, even Falcons, multiple times, they just got hunted down. And that's exactly what you expect out of the LATAM squad. Again, mechanically very sound, and it looks like they have definitely worked on their rotations a lot. I feel like this is one of those teams we have to look out for, looking like a solid team to make it into our grand finals, maybe even one of the first 4 to qualify into the grand finals directly. But DRS, that was the standout team for me because nobody would have expected that sort of a performance out of the Nepali squad.
Yeah, coming into DRS as well. Also moving with their fights. They have a lot of zone control when they find an area. They are not quick to give it away either. And they're not quick to just really go and overhit and go for these fights. I'm seeing a lot of respect they're giving to other teams to make sure that in terms of survivability, they can survive all the way to the later stages of the map.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, in this game, what sounds easy is absolutely difficult to execute out there on the battlefield. We talk about how important the mechanical skills are. We talk about how important the decision making and the timing is going to be for a lot of the squads out here. But DRS pulled off these things absolutely perfect in this first game, right? You look at the mechanical skills, they were handling some of those gunfights like pros. Their timing were absolutely perfect. They have great numbers behind them. And it's a bit of a shocker for me because we definitely saw their performance at the FREEFIRE Max Asia Invitational. And they didn't really give us a lot to talk about, right? They had some good games, but fairly inconsistent with their run. But a game this explosive up against a lineup of squads that's, you know, global level, superstars, multiple-time world champions, it's insane. And you got to respect that out of Nepal. Now, the big question is, of course, going to be whether or not we're going to see the consistent plays out of them.
Yeah, and I think what's really, important to think about not only is just consistency. I'm a big believer that you gotta fail in order to do well. And I think that now that you mentioned DRS didn't really have a good run, maybe they learned a lot from it. Maybe they picked up the weaknesses and made it way better for here. But again, this is after the first map. It's still, I think, a heat check for many of these teams. They're trying to figure out where the drops are, how each team plays, how the rotations are going to go.
Yeah, and also if you look at it from a standpoint of how much of pressure these squads are under, the bigger your name is, the more your achievements, the bigger the pressure is going to be because everybody expects you to perform. And if you're a team like the Real Soldiers, DRS, the expectations are fairly low. They have got nothing to lose, right? It's the first time they're here on the global stage. It's one of the regions that we have brought in to play on a stage like this, and they are shining right now. They have to make sure they don't allow their nerves to catch up with them. It's going to be rough if they do. But if they continue on with this momentum, I think it's going to be a solid run for DRS. They might just be the underdogs that we have been looking out for all of these years. But again, consistency on a stage like this is very difficult to hold on to. We have even seen teams like Fluxo kind of flunk out. So what more DRS, right? But if they do manage to pull it off, it will definitely be a legendary run.
Yeah, I was about to say that as well. You know, coming in, we've seen so many legendary teams just really, you know, find their way almost to the finishing line and then just completely lose their cool. And the thing is, when you have nothing to lose, when you are on a big stage where you're just saying, hey, let's just come in here, have a great time without having to really bow down to the pressure from the bigger teams, you can make your name in history. And at Esports World Cup, everything is earned.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Team Apex Gaming earlier, the team from India, got knocked out with no placement points whatsoever. Only 2 eliminations to their name. And I feel like this is one of those teams that we can expect to see perform a little bit better here on Solara. As we hop on in, these slide rails are going to be attracting many teams to your compound. I think the third-party situation in Solara has always been extremely exciting to watch. And it looks like Gun Dynasty is looking for a big fight again with the early clash up against the Malaysians. Aurora Gaming, Eco Drain, battle up against Gun Dynasty. It's going to be a rough one.
Yeah, and it's always going to be super exciting when you go for these early fights. The rest of the map, though, fairly safe other than Delta Isle. Delta Isle right now also is, I think, very, very hectic. Now, in this situation there, I am wanting to see how GD is going to be handling this. As we're rushing forward already, barely alive, as Astra already had turned on that time turner.
Yeah, this is a 50-50 early hot drop. Aurora does have a chance in here if they can manage to flank around and play their strategy well. Trogon in the hands of Jun. Axel, AUG in hand. The sniper of the squad does not have his preferred gun. Jun for the backup. Axel nails him down with a headshot off of the AUG. And it's a great start here for the Malaysian squad. Maybe this is that perfect comeback, that perfect revenge early on. As GD snuffed them out, kicking them out of the lobby a tad bit too earlier. Benel, again, the super savior of the squad, will hit that double revive, making sure even if Gun Dynasty falls early here up against Aurora, they will stay in the lobby. But the White Tigers, they smell blood and they want the points.
Yeah, they're coming in as a third party here as well. There's a bit of space for Aurora for that position. It's been quiet right now. They can see White Tigers right now.
Fires there, damage questionable for look with that backup, and they have the advantage on their side with the numbers, and on the other side AGAL up against TEC. It looks like AGAL just weren't having a good run up against them.
No, it's just so unlucky to meet them. I just want to say I'm loving this proactivity coming in from EVOS. They heard sounds coming through. They go in and just force that third-party fight. But in this situation, I was surprised it didn't go three ways. Aurora, this time around, they got knocked a bit too early just now. They want to make up for just now.
Benel versus AimGod. It's a 1v1 fair fight. AimGod spots him. First shot finds no connection. Benel looking for the quick reposition. But the rest of the EVOS squad, they've entered the compound already. Benel's in a tad bit of trouble, to say the least. Wolven back and away. Team Apex Gaming, can they take the fight up against the 2024 Esports World Cup champions and walk away with the victory here? There is a vending machine in play, and you can see the Apex player already camping away at it in case they need to pull in a quick revival. Raja on the hunt. Sahil Jad has been spotted out already. Wolven sticking his head out. That is a bait on fire, flanking around from the right-hand side. Max 7, his own blue wall keeps him in a way, and Wolven with a timely time turner to keep himself in the run.
Oh man, and here comes the firepower from the Falcons, knocking a majority of the DAG players down here. 2 eliminations already done and out here, and now they go for more. TAG is stuck in a corner. 3 players crunching him all alone. The wave from On Fire is here. A 2v1 swing out means that he cannot survive.
Man, Katie God, I don't know where he is, but he was in a fantastic spot to punish the players on the side of Falcons. Managed to get a double knock, but the recovery from your 2024 EWC champions, absolutely swift. Katie God in trouble now. Team Apex Gaming, they've already hit the revive, and they're holding on. Riptide rhythm from Katie God just to put a little bit of extra pressure on them. The nade is in his hands. Pina on the chase. Katie God will stay safe still. And now he has an advantage as he hops off of the slide rail, takes another shot straight to the back. And Pina with the mini Uzi looking to see if or not he can take him out of the equation. Vending machine right beside. It's a 1v1. Katie God has the better gun in this situation, but Pina absolutely sneaky, just hopping on from the back of the glue wall, taking the shots, quickly hiding away. And from having a disadvantage with the gun, Pina turns things around.
Oh my gosh, that was a hot chase from the other side of the map all the way till here. Movement was insane coming from this guy.
Oh yeah. Gotta respect Falcons this time, hungry for those points. They obviously wanted a better run in the earlier game, did not find it for themselves. Got kicked out of the lobby with just 10 points on their side. Very aggressive game 1 for Falcons. 7 eliminations, but only 3 placement points. You just have to make sure the same mistake is not made here on Solara. But so far, so good. You see the coins on their side absolutely stacked up. And TEC, one of the favorites from Bangladesh, alive and kicking with a ton of elimination points already on their side in this Alara game.
Oh man, Barros putting the damage on the top 16.
GG. That's
Takes
it.
a lot of damage, almost getting knocked down here, but moves around the area, cannot survive, and knocked out as well.
Yeah, Barros, great play on the 1v1. Thrill of battle popped in a timely manner, locking him down. And a swift elimination right after. AGL on the prowl, looking for some extra points. But Cypher's gonna get caught out here. Jazzy Aswap and the smooth criminal Cypher quickly getting away. Barros looking for the backup and the bait and switch. Barros now holding back. Jazzy taken out of the equation. Barros, you monster!
Oh, it's the biggest nope I've ever seen in my life, and Cypher is the one to turn things around there. Aswap down and out. Gonna try and see where exactly can go in this situation. Coming in terms of rotations here, a lot of players already inside of the zone. Mid-side area, I'm really curious. I'm seeing AGL and Loud there.
AGAL, again, this is their third EWC. Just like Buriram, perhaps third time's the charm. David 444 taken out early here. This is one of the prime players out of Gun Dynasty. And Buriram hunting them down one after the other. You messed around with us in the previous game. We could not get to the Booyah. And this time, we will take you out of the lock early. Buriram says, but can we see a recovery again? Benel, the super savior of Gun Dynasty, keeping them in the race.
Honestly, getting that pickup right as the glue wall goes down is just diabolical. Now, the zone has shifted a little bit more here. And in this situation, most players are already coming back into the game.
Man, but now, what in the world? This guy...
He has most revivals.
Yeah, he's definitely got the most revivals so far. And it is absolutely brilliant to see him pull off these amazing saves in such an insane lobby on a stage like this. I wonder how is he managing to get things done, and how is he having so many coins on his side? We got to check that out later. He was divine though. Through eliminations. Aggressive start this time around, but they want more. DRS up against Falcons. They had a phenomenal run in game one. And Falcons are trying to deny them of that in this game too. Pina down already. Strowex, fantastic shot. He eliminates Pina from the equation. But no glue wall, but the time turner on his side allows him a quick recovery. K98 in hand. Anybody that takes the slide rails up against Alu might be in a tad bit of trouble, but Falcon's not going to make that mistake just yet.
Doing a due diligence here, dotting their I, crossing their T's as well. I think DRS is doing, I think, fairly wise to just really back away from this fight.
Yeah.
Now, for Falcons, they brought back Pina into the game. That's more firepower once again on their side here. The southern side here, DP and AGL looks very interesting right now.
Falcons understanding that Alu would probably pop their heads if they took the slide rail, trying to just cut the distance down with the vehicles. On the other side, Demon's Pride, top 16, tagged up already. That Moko giving away his position, and it's too easy for Dew to go in for the follow-up. Super Sniper turned Russia in the situation, connected with the electrotherapy. This is the result of too many clash squads.
And in this situation as well, I think everyone is just sort of like kind of moving away on that western side here, just trying to find a way into the zone, making sure that they don't get sniped out as they take the slide rails. We saw so many of that happening way too soon. Well, it is fun for us viewers to see it, but for them, it's probably a very, I would say, high-stakes, heart-attack situation.
The Clash Masters competitions have forced the snipers to play a closer range battle, which means more shotguns, more SMGs, and it is having its results shown beautifully on the Battle Royale scene. And that's just going to be making these snipers so much more deadlier. Long range, short range. They're now becoming all-rounders. But this next circle, though, looking deadly. Falcon scanning out the area of Team Apex. Sahil Jad gets caught in the binocular scan. Pina Racha not waiting. They sustain some shots, but they're going straight in for the elimination. And a four-man scan here, potentially by the White Tigers. EVOS Divide and a double scan. Probably Aurora as well as Loud. EVOS in trouble, as two teams have got the information on them. Team Apex Gaming, on the other hand, already scanned out by the Falcon squad earlier on, but Falcons are the ones who are in a tad bit more trouble.
Ooh, nice shot.
Sahyajat looking for the revival, pulls Shoto back into the race, but he sacrifices himself in the same run.
I mean, what can you do to just really survive longer here?
That's it. KD God in trouble. out of the pen into the fire. Running straight. Oh, EVOS Divine does not spot him out.
They don't know.
This could just be that survival play, but Tech is right behind him, so this is going to be a tad bit difficult. Oh, now Thriller Battle, GG, bro. I don't know if or not that was super intentional, but KD God now clipped on by the Thriller Battle, has got no way to use his active skill. But EVOS Divine not making the mistake of looking for one extra point and potentially sacrificing two of their players. They know the players of TEC is right there beside them. So moving to find an extra point might put them in a little bit of trouble, and the veteran experience of EVOS Divine keeping them alive and kicking. But the Rail Soldiers hopping on in as well. This is about to become a rough three-way battle.
Yeah, coming through here as well, because KD got finally knocked down as well. As TEC, their compound is being taken away. DRS gonna try to really hunker down here in this situation. Maybe wait out those fights, or hoping for an opening to either go in for the fight or just go for a tactical retreat.
Yeah, playing on the meta, the AWM, the BSKs, they've got the long-range weapons perfect for Solara. And I will not doubt those M590s are on standby for the pop as well. Great rotation by EVOS Divine, avoiding the initial engagement with DRS. And just taking the position right below the players of Titan Esports Club. This means Bangladesh is going to have a rough time to get out of their spot, but thankfully the circle's still with them. The next zone is going to be crucial to see which teams get caught out here on the rotation. There is a high chance it moves towards the conglomeration of the three squads here. EVOS Divine, TEC, as well as DRS.
DRS, you're being very, very patient, but the problem is right now you go toward EVOS, there's a potential of getting knocked out by TEC from that top side of the building as well.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a situation where you guys have to wait out things.
Nice play, and now it's just all-out annihilation. Messy, as multiple teams are so close to each other.
डीमन स्प्राइट कहीं पे दम तोड़ देती और गन डायनेस्टी अपने खाते में छठा एलिमिनेशन भी जोड़ने में कामयाब। DRS ने एक और बड़ा मैच निकाल लिए तैयार हैं। दूसरी तरफ औरोरा गेमिंग को अगर मैं देखूं तो शायद गेट कीप कर रहे हैं और गन डायनेस्टी के बीएनएल को नॉकआउट करने में कामयाब हो चुके हैं। फिनिश भी कर देंगे यहाँ पे ज़्यूस, और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि शायद शीरो एक आखिरी उम्मीद यहाँ पे होंगे जो अपनी टीम को शॉट से बचना तो मुश्किल है। आप लॉन्च पैड लगाकर ही जा सकते हैं, और मुझे लग ही रहा था कि वो लॉन्च पैड जो है वो वहां पे शायरों के पास ही थी, और वो वहां पे नॉकआउट और फिनिश अगर होते तो दम तोड़ देगी गन डायनेस्टी, और वही हुआ। लाउड स्नीकर्स के हाथों वो आखिरी खिलाड़ी वहां पे शहीद हो जाता है। और कहीं ना कहीं चर्चा करनी पड़ेगी यहाँ पे लाउड स्नीकर्स की भी। एक बार फिर से सटीक प्रेडिक्शन उन्होंने किया है सर्कल का। EVOS डिवाइन खतरे में, एबेक्स को यहाँ पे नॉकआउट कर दिया गया। कप्तान रासिया जान हथेली पर लेकर अपने साथी को रिवाइव देने के लिए पहुंचे। इट इज द टाइटन ई-स्पोर्ट्स क्लब फ्रॉम बांग्लादेश। राहत, कुट्टूश, निजात पूरी चेष्टा कर रहे हैं। बोल्ट मेकर के बीचों बीच फंसी हुई है बुरीराम यूनाइटेड, जिनके ऊपर बम से किया गया था हमला। और इसके अलावा लाउड स्नीकर्स के पास वो बेहतरीन विकल्प यहाँ पे एक और जबरदस्त ग्रेनेड। ट्रैप के उस ग्रेनेड का जवाब क्या बुरीराम यूनाइटेड के पास होगा? एक और सटीक नेड। बुरीराम यूनाइटेड इज इन बिग ट्रबल। रिवाइव देने की आखिरी कोशिश करते हुए गेट हाई। वैसाना को कहीं ना कहीं रिवाइव तो मिला है, लेकिन जिस तरीके से बीचों बीच फंसे कुछ भी हो सकता है। ऑल गेमर्स ग्लोबल का अटैच, और बाप रे 5 सेकंड के अंदर वहां पे DRS गेमिंग को तबाह करके रख देती है यहाँ पे ऑल गेमर्स ग्लोबल। और लाउड की अगर मैं चर्चा करूं तो शायद बुरीराम यूनाइटेड को तो ये सर्कल में नहीं आने देना चाहते। वसाना भी समाप्त, और इसी के साथ बुरीराम यूनाइटेड के ऊपर भी पूर्ण विराम लग चुका है। इसके अलावा बोल्ट मेकर पे बोल्ट मेकर चलते हुए ऑल गेमर्स ग्लोबल यहाँ पे मुझे तो नहीं लग रहा इस मुकाबले को किसी भी दूसरी टीम को बूया करने देना चाहते हैं। 17 खिलाड़ी 5 टीमें, 12 साइफा की आंधी आगे बढ़ते हुए। क्या लगता है और कौन सी टीम जीतेगी सोलारा?
5 टीम 17 खिलाड़ी, 15 मिनट का समय होने को जा रहा है। लाउड स्नीकर्स अभी भी हम सर्वाइव करेंगे। देखते हैं लाउड फर्दर क्या प्ले करते हैं। एक और टीम बैक टू द लॉबी होते हुए टीम औरोरा गेमिंग लॉबी की तरफ रवाना करा जाएगा। 4 टीम 16 खिलाड़ी, सभी टीम्स के पास 4 खिलाड़ी उपलब्ध होने वाले हैं। इस समय जोन स्ट्रिंग होने में मात्र 10 सेकंड बचेंगे। EVOS ट्रैप करके ऊपर चढ़ेंगे। ग्लू वॉल्स का क्लस्टर बना करके फर्स्ट फ्लोर पर जाना चाहते हैं, जहां पे ऑलरेडी टीम TEC स्पोर्ट्स क्लब फ्रॉम बांग्लादेश इंतजार कर रही है। टीम ऑल गेमर्स ग्लोबल के हाथ तो गर्म नजर आ रहे हैं, पर इवॉस का प्रहार रुकना थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा। ऑल गेमर्स ग्लोबल हमें पता है ये वो टीम है जो क्लोज कंपाउंड्स के अंदर, क्लोज प्रॉक्सिमिटीज के अंदर काफी कमाल का प्ले करती है। ड्यू जैसे कमाल के स्नाइपर होने वाले जो क्लोज रेंज के अंदर काफी अच्छी स्नाइपिंग करते हैं, पर इस समय रे यहाँ पे नजर आएंगे। रशिया यहाँ होने वाले में दोनों खिलाड़ियों को आमने सामने आते हुए देखना चाहूंगा। मैं यहाँ पे देखना चाहूंगा ड्यू वर्सेस यहाँ पे रशिया, पर इस समय टीम इवॉस रुकने का ट्राई कर रही है। टीम एजीएल को नॉक करना चाहेगा, खिलाड़ियों को नॉक करके रिवाइव देना पड़ेगा। यहाँ पे ऑफ कोर्स रशिया ने वो पहला नॉक निकाला ड्यू के ऊपर। यहाँ पे लाउड को भी चोटिल करने का ट्राई, कंपाउंड है, कंपाउंड को होल्ड करा जा रहा है, कंपाउंड का फायदा उठाया जा रहा है। लाउड दूर से इंतजार कर रही है, उन्हें पता है वो इजीली रोटेट कर जाएंगे, क्योंकि इस समय पूरे क्लस्टर से दूर रहना पड़ेगा। भीड़ से दूर रहना बहुत ही ज्यादा जरूरी है, क्योंकि ये जो क्लस्टर बनना है ये आपको प्रॉब्लम में डाल देगा, ये आपको गेट कीपिंग के एंगल पे लेके आ जाएगा। अब गाड़ियों के साथ रोटेशन का समय आ चुका है। दिस इज ब्राजीलियन लॉबी, दिस इज टिपिकल ब्राजीलियन लॉबी। दे अंडरस्टैंड यूटिलिटी, दे अंडरस्टैंड मेटा, दे अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू यूज व्हीकल्स। राइट नो व्हीकल्स का यूज हार्ड कवर बनाने का ट्राई, पर लाउड कवर व्हीकल्स को डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया गया। इस समय स्नाइपर्स के साथ रशिया का अच्छा एंगल मेंटेन करते हुए, जस्ट लुक एट दिस बॉय, दिस बीस्ट। यहां पर रशिया कमाल का शॉट, पर गुआक्सा ने मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया, हमारे को नॉक करोगे तो हमारा स्नाइपर आपको नॉक करेगा। ऑल गेमर्स ग्लोबल के नेमलेस आखिरी खिलाड़ी इस समय हाथों में है शॉटगन। देखते हैं किस तरीके से इसका फायदा उठाएंगे। ब्लेड अपनी टीम को बचाने का ट्राई कर रहे हैं, नेमलेस खुद को हील करेंगे, रिपेयर किट्स अपनी वेस्ट को रिपेयर करेंगे। वहां लाउड स्पीकर्स को स्पॉट करा। यहां पे टीम इवॉस बूया के लिए आगे बढ़ते हुए, इवॉस को रोकना बहुत ही ज्यादा मुश्किल। इवॉस रुकने का नाम नहीं ले रही है। लाउड का पहला नॉक और यहां पे इवॉस को ओपनिंग मिल चुकी है। एक और एलिमिनेशन के लिए आगे बढ़ते हुए पूरा टीम वर्क शो करा जा रहा है। एक एक खिलाड़ी एक यूनिट की तरह आगे बढ़ रहा है। कदम फूक फूक करके बढ़ाए जाएंगे। लाउड के एक और खिलाड़ी निक्स को नॉक करके फिनिश करा जाएगा। रशिया वहां पे फिनिशिंग देंगे। रशिया की कमाल की स्नाइपिंग, ये लड़का इसको वंडर बॉय बोला जाता है। इस खिलाड़ी का नाम यहां पे पूरे विश्व में डंका यहां पे कोहराम मचाता है। देखते हैं नेमलेस आखिरी खिलाड़ी, हमें पता है यहां से इवॉस से बूया जीतना नामुमकिन है। इवॉस के हाथों से बूया छीनना नामुमकिन है। नेमलेस की तरफ दो खिलाड़ी, नेमलेस की एबिलिटी सप्रेस डाउन, नेमलेस को स्पॉट करा, नेमलेस पे हमला करा, एम गोड आगे गए। एक और टीम बैक टू द लॉबी। अब आखिरी सर्कल में लाउड का केवल एक खिलाड़ी ट्रैप, जिनको कर दिया गया इस समय ट्रैप, और ट्रैप कुछ नहीं कर सकते, यहां से बस लॉबी की तरफ रवाना हो सकते हैं। और इसी के साथ टीम इवॉस निकालती है शानदार बूया।
The reigning defending champions for a reason. EVOS डिवाइन के खाते में गया है बूया बूया बूया। प्रशंसा के पात्र बनेंगे यहाँ पे रासिया एंड कंपनी। और कहना पड़ेगा वो जो बॉर्डर के पीछे टीम खड़ी थी उनका जीना जैसे दुश्वार किया है रासिया ने। और बाप रे, वहां पे वो जो शॉट लगा था ऐसा लगा साक्षात भगवान ने वहां पे बाण फेंक के मारी है। और रासिया व्हाट अ प्लेयर, व्हाट अ प्लेयर। अंडर प्रेशर आसान नहीं होता है। इतने लाखों लोग आपको देख रहे हैं, आपके देशवासी चाहते हैं आप जीतो, आप डिफेंडिंग चैंपियन हो, एंड जब इतनी इंटेंस माहौल हो तब आपको डिलीवर करना था। रासिया हैज डन इट अगेन। ही इज डेफिनेटली द वंडर किड फॉर अ रीजन। और ये तो देखिए रासिया की जो करामात है ना, ये रुकने वाली नहीं है। एक के बाद एक खिलाड़ियों को यहाँ पे बम से रे ने भी काफी तंग किया है। नेमलेस आखिर में कोशिश पूरी कर रहे थे कि इस खेल को अगर मैं आखिर तक लेके जा पाऊं और टॉप 2 तक लेके जा पाऊं, लेकिन लाउड के खिलाड़ी ट्रैप वहां पे नजरें बचाकर टिके रहे और सेकंड पोजीशन उनके नाम गया। लेकिन बिल्कुल अंततः तो एक तरफा कर, लुक एट दैट। रासिया शुरुआत से लेकर आखिर तक डोमिनेशन। और मुझे ऐसा लगता है शायद कहीं ना कहीं हमने चर्चा करी भी थी और कि इनसे टाइटल छीनना थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा, क्योंकि मूड में नहीं है इवॉस डिवाइन अपने इस टाइटल को किसी को देने के।
इवॉस बिल्कुल नहीं है। ये वो इंटरव्यू आपको याद होगा, शुरुआत में रशिया ने इंग्लिश में बोला था, दिस इज नॉट ई स्पोर्ट्स वर्ल्ड कप, इट्स इवॉस वर्ल्ड कप। इवॉस का ये वर्ल्ड कप होने वाला है। रशिया उस मूड में आए हैं। और क्या स्नाइपर बैटल नजर आई है, मजा आ गया। हमको ड्यू नजर आए, रशिया नजर आए, हमें गुआक्सा नजर आए। ये तीन विश्व के इतने बड़े स्नाइपर सेम आखिरी सर्कल के अंदर एक दूसरे से स्नाइपर के साथ युद्ध करते हैं। क्या बात है। पर चलिए अब बात कर लेते हैं मैच स्टैंडिंग्स की। देखिए अभी तक 2 गेम्स ओवर हो चुके हैं। नंबर 1 पे नजर आएगी टीम इवोस। देखिए कमाल का प्ले, 41 पॉइंट्स, 23 एलिमिनेशंस, बहुत ही शानदार प्ले करा इस टीम ने। नंबर 2 पे टीम लाउड स्नीकर्स विद 41 पॉइंट्स। अभी टाई चल रहा है पर ऑफ कोर्स सबको पता है एलिमिनेशन पे लीड मिली है। यहाँ पे एक बूया इन्होंने भी एक्वायर करा है। टीम डीआरएस यहाँ पे अभी भी 3rd पोजीशन मेंटेन करेंगे, पोडियम पे नजर आ रहे हैं 33 पॉइंट्स के साथ। गन डायनेस्टी हमें उसके पीछे। पर अगर हम बात करें थोड़ा बॉटम की तरफ तो डीमंस प्राइड विद 0 पॉइंट्स, टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग, डीमंस प्राइड विद 4 पॉइंट्स, टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग विद 5, टीम पैराडॉक्स गेमिंग, Team Aurora Gaming with 16, Titan Esports Club with 19 and Buri Ram United with 25 points, 13 eliminations. It's very clear. हम प्रेशर देख रहे हैं, हम टीम्स को प्रेशर फील करते हुए देख रहे हैं। बुरी राम यूनाइटेड जैसी टीम्स अभी तक कंफर्टेबल फील ही नहीं कर पाई हैं।
बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं आप। और चलिए इसी के साथ इंटरव्यू की ओर प्रस्थान करते हैं और देखते हैं क्या कहना है जीती।
Trap, team's captain for Loud. Okay, Trap, você começou o dia já, o time da Loud já começou o dia com buia, e especialmente com a Buriram no top 4. Como é a confiança de você estar nesse momento? Vocês ainda conseguiram chegar num segundo lugar nessa última partida. Você acha que isso tem sido importante para o time de vocês?
Acho que a confiança nossa está lá em cima, de acordo com os resultados que vem durante alguns meses. Estamos evoluindo a cada dia, a gente quer muito representar o Brasil bem nesse Mundial. Já começamos muito bem, um top 1 e um top 2. É isso, estamos amassando e manter mais 4 quedinhas aí pra cima.
Yes, of course. Starting the championship, started WC 2026 with Abuya was very important for us. Our confidence and our security is way above. And right now to get Abuya in a second place, we feel like we are in the right path and to reach the finals. O time de vocês, o time da Loud, vocês conseguiram ter uma boa performance durante o Campeonato Brasileiro? Você acha que vocês estão no caminho certo para voltar a colocar a Loud no topo, para de fato vocês voltarem a ser os reis do Free Fire no Brasil?
A gente veio para isso, a gente voltou para fazer a Loud ser campeã mundial, que é o objetivo da Loud e o nosso. E a gente voltou para colocar a Loud no topo, assim como nós também queremos ficar no topo.
Yes, of course. Performing that well in Brazil brings us such great confidence, and we are here for that. We are here to bring the old Loud that you guys haven't seen before, and right now we are gonna put Loud for sure on the top again, but not only in Brazil, in the world, and that's why we are here at AWC 2026. For us to finish our interview, I would like to ask, vocês terminaram o Mundial de Free Fire no top 5, né, no ano passado. Quão importante foi isso para vocês? Jogarem internacionalmente, obviamente que vocês estavam em outro time, mas você acha que esse resultado de um top 5 trouxe mais confiança para vocês performarem agora aqui no EWC 2026?
Com certeza, assim como no Campeonato Brasileiro que a gente sempre joga um campeonato e quando ele acaba e o desempenho não é tão bom, eu sempre solto uma frase que eu falo com o Joker, eu falo: mano, aqui nós aprendemos a jogar esse campeonato. A partir de agora, nós só vai desempenhar bem. E eu acho que foi o que aconteceu no último Mundial. Quando ele acabou, em vez de mim ficar triste e de cabeça baixa, eu falei, a partir de agora, nosso time aprendeu como jogar um Mundial.
Wow, that's very special. Okay, so reach the Free Fire World Series finals last year in the top 5 gave us such a great and important understanding in what we should do in Free Fire right now. And I told my coach, okay, so right now we are learning even more to play Free Fire. We are in the right path, and I think we are more than prepared to take the world right now, and that's exactly what we came to do here at AWC. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck in the next match. Make the L. And I'm back to you guys at the studio.
We waited for this moment from so long, और इस वक्त का हमको काफ़ी समय से इंतज़ार था। वो समय आ चुका है। भारतीय टीमों को हमने यहाँ पे देखा ज़रूर है। काफ़ी वक्त हुआ, काफ़ी समय बीता और उसके साथ यहाँ पे वो कदम इस मंच पे पड़ चुके हैं। ई स्पोर्ट वर्ल्ड कप पेरिस 2026 हम लोग विटनेस कर रहे हैं और अब यहाँ पे देखना यह है कि किस तरीके से जो भारतीय टीम है वो प्रदर्शन करेंगी। 2 गेम हो चुके हैं टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग की तरफ से, अभी तक वो परफॉर्मेंस नहीं आई है जिसके लिए वो जाने जाते हैं। वो पहले ही अपना झंडा भारत में गाड़ चुके हैं, अपने को बेस्ट साबित कर चुके हैं, लेकिन इस इंटरनेशनल मंच पर, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर अभी वो प्रदर्शन देखना बाकी है। चलिए इंट्रोडक्शन देते हैं। मेरा नाम है रॉय और मेरे साथ होने वाले हैं चिरायू गेमिंग। चिरायू कैसा फील कर रहे हैं और इस टाइम वो गूज बम्स आ रहे हैं या फिर नहीं? जी बिल्कुल, यहाँ पे देखना होगा किस तरीके से ये मुकाबला आगे बढ़ता है, बिकॉज हमने कई तरीके की बैटल्स यहाँ पे देखी है, ईस्ट वर्सेस वेस्ट। एक तरफ हम देख रहे हैं कि लाउड स्नीकर्स जिस तरीके से प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं, उनका एक बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज रहता है। हम ये बात बखूबी जानते हैं कि एक्सप्लोजिव जिस तरीके से इस्तेमाल किए जाते हैं, जो प्रेशर बनाते हैं वो सामने वाली टीम के ऊपर, उसको काउंटर करना बहुत ज़्यादा मुश्किल हो जाता है। बट वहीं पे बात करें अगर हम यहाँ पे टीम एवोस की या फिर हम यहाँ पे ईस्ट की बात करें, साउथ ईस्ट एशियन टीम जो कि ई स्पोर्ट्स की जब भी हम बात करते हैं फ्री फायर की, डेफिनेटली वो डोमिनेट करते हैं, काफ़ी अच्छा प्रदर्शन करते हैं, लेकिन अभी के लिए वो डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस भी हैं, ये भी उनको ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा। रासिया, वी नो दिस वंडर बॉय क्या कमाल करना जानता है, क्या कमाल कर चुका है, और एक बार फिर से यहाँ पे वो ट्रॉफी अपने हाथों में रखने के लिए वापस से प्रदर्शन करना पड़ेगा। इस वक्त इमोशंस हमको चैट में भी नजर आ रहे हैं, थोड़े से निराश भी यहाँ पे चेहरे हैं, हताशा भी यहाँ पे हाथ लगी है। 2 गेम में मात्र 4-5 अंक यहाँ पे हासिल की टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग ने। बट बात करें साउथ एशिया की, तो साउथ एशियन टीम की परफॉर्मेंस काफी सही नजर आ रही है। हम बात करें अगर DRS गेमिंग की, डेफिनेटली दाद देनी पड़ेगी इस नेपाली टीम की, जिस तरीके से ये वो अपना गोरखाली दमखम दिखा रहे हैं, जिस तरीके से इन्होंने प्रदर्शन किया दोनों गेम में, वो कंसिस्टेंसी निकल के आ रही है इनकी तरफ से। और पहले गेम में भूया के काफ़ी ज़्यादा नज़दीक थे, जिस तरीके से वो ग्रेनेड टॉस किए गए थे, पूरी यूनाइटेड ई स्पोर्ट्स को उन्होंने प्रेशर में डालकर वहाँ पे एक तरीके से कॉम्बाइन अटैक के साथ एलिमिनेट किया था। हालांकि वो भूया लाउड के लिए गया था, बट उसके बाद दूसरे गेम में भी उन्होंने जोन ज़रूर बनाया, अपनी एक पोजीशन ज़रूर पकड़ के रखी थी, एक एंकर डाल के रखा था, लेकिन उनके ऊपर चार्ज किया गया, उनको एलिमिनेट किया गया। बट स्टिल देखिए कंसिस्टेंसी रखनी जरूरी है। टॉप 4 आपको करना है तो आपको कंसिस्टेंट रहना पड़ेगा, वरना आप रेस से काफी ज्यादा दूर चले जाओगे और फिर प्रेशर वो आपके ऊपर हावी हो जाएगा।
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने, बिकॉज देखिए फॉर्मेट है अच्छा, आपके फेवर में है। हालांकि अगर आप अभी क्वालिफाई नहीं कर पाए तो फिर डेफिनेटली आप सर्वाइवल स्टेज में जाएंगे, वहां पर से क्वालिफाई कर सकते हैं। बट स्टिल दिमाग में एक चीज रहती है कि आपको बॉटम 2 पर नहीं आना, बिकॉज बॉटम 2 पर दोनों ही ग्रुप से बॉटम 2 एलिमिनेट होने वाले, उनको कोई चांस नहीं मिलेगा। 5th पोजीशन से लेकर 10th पोजीशन तक दोनों ग्रुप्स की जो टीम्स है वो बढ़ेगी सर्वाइवल स्टेज की ओर, तो वहां पर से भी देखिए कॉम्पिटिशन ऑटोमेटिक इंक्रीज हो ही जाएगा, बिकॉज वो टीमें जिन्होंने अपना पोटेंशियल शो करा था नहीं कर पाए, उनके पास एक और चांस होगा, तो सभी अपना बेस्ट देने वाले हैं। एंड इवन काफी ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट स्टेज, ग्रुप स्टेज भी मैं कहूंगा कि काफी जानी मानी टीमें यहाँ पर से। मैं अगर फैल्कन्स की बात करूं, ई स्पोर्ट्स वर्ल्ड कप 2024 उन्होंने अपने नाम करा था, वहीं पर मैं ईवोस की बात करूं, ई स्पोर्ट्स वर्ल्ड कप 2025 उन्होंने अपने नाम करा था। तो कहीं ना कहीं ये जो जायंट स्क्वाड्स हैं, इनके सामने आप कैसे टिक पाएंगे? जैसा कि आपने टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग की भी काफी चर्चा करी, हमने नोटिस भी करा है कि काफी हमने ऑब्जर्व करा था डेस्क के बाहर, हम देख रहे थे, हमने बातचीत भी करी थी कि जिस प्रकार से यहाँ पर एपेक्स गेमिंग वो काफी ज्यादा प्रेशर लेके खेल रहे हैं, वो साफ उनके गेम प्ले में झलक रहा है। जिस प्रकार का गेम प्ले वो अपने रीजनल टूर्नामेंट्स में परफॉर्म कर रहे थे, डोमेस्टिक सर्किट में परफॉर्म कर रहे थे, उस टाइप का वो रेंज अभी नहीं दिखता हुआ नजर आ रहा, और ये कंसर्निंग है टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग के लिए, बिकॉज अगर वो ओरिजिनल गेम प्ले अपना नहीं ला पाए तो दिक्कतें हो जाएगी, बिकॉज आपका परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा नहीं हुआ तो सब यही कहेंगे कि फर्स्ट टाइम था, ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, बट उसके बावजूद अगर आपका फर्स्ट टाइम है और अगर आप अपने फर्स्ट टाइम में ही काफी अच्छा परफॉर्म कर जाते हैं तो वो नाम फिर सभी के मुंह पर रट जाएगा कि हाँ टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग वो अपने पहले ही बार में काफी अच्छा परफॉर्म करके आई थी।
एंड देखिए 2026 के रन की सबसे बढ़िया टीम अगर आप इनको बोलें यहाँ पे इंडिया की तरफ से तो गलत नहीं होगा, बिकॉज तेज FFMIC 2026 के स्प्रिंग के चैंपियन बने थे, और उसके साथ यहाँ पे इनसे एक्सपेक्टेशन भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा है, और वो जो प्रेशर है वो एक्सपेक्टेशन का ही नज़र आ रहा है। देखिए मैं हमेशा मानता हूँ ये जो खिलाड़ी, ये जो एथलीट्स है, ये वॉरियर्स के माफिक लड़ते हैं, और यहाँ पे ज़रूरी नहीं है कि ये जीतने के लिए खेले, ये बैटल कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे जो उम्मीदें लगाए बैठे हैं, जितने भी फैंस हमको चैट में नजर आ रहे हैं उनकी उम्मीदों पे खरे उतरने के लिए। और देखिए उम्मीदें ये है कि आप अपना बेस्ट दिए, दैट्स इट। वहाँ पे उनकी तरफ से जो परफॉर्मेंस आ रही है, क्या वो उनकी बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस है, क्या वो प्रेशर के तले दब तो नहीं रहे, वो चीज़ यहाँ पे इंपॉर्टेंट है। अभी के लिए वो प्रेशर जैसा कि आपने बताया वो नज़र ज़रूर आ रहा है, छलक रहा है, लेकिन वी नो कि ये टीम बाउंस बैक करना जानती है। और इसके अलावा ये कंपटीशन भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा टफ होने वाला। आपने एलिमिनेशंस की बात करी, 10th और 11th पे आपको नहीं रहना है। जी हाँ, ग्रुप स्टेजेस में आपको एक बात ध्यान रखनी होगी, अपने ग्रुप से अगर आप 10th या 11th पोजीशन पे आते हो, डेफिनेटली आपका एलिमिनेशन हो सकता है और आप फिर सर्वाइवल स्टेज में भी नहीं जा पाओगे। तो उस चीज़ का ध्यान बहुत ज़रूरी है रखना।
जी बिल्कुल। एंड देखिए, हर एक स्क्वाड की अपनी अपनी स्टोरी लाइन है। अगर आप इवोस की चर्चा करें, 2024 में स्पोर्ट्स वर्ल्ड कप के अंदर वो रनर अप थे, वहां पर से फिर 2025 में उन्होंने वो टाइटल उठाया। वहीं पर फैल्कन्स 2025 में कुछ खास परफॉर्मेंस नहीं कर पाई। बट एक और स्क्वाड के ऊपर मैं थोड़ी सी लाइमलाइट डालना चाहता हूँ, RRQ। जिस प्रकार से वो बैक टू बैक पोडियम फिनिश करने की कोशिश करते हैं, अगर आप EWC 2024 के ऊपर नजर डालें, 7th रैंक आई थी उनकी। वहीं पर 2025 में वो लोग रनर अप बनने थे, तो वहीं पर कहीं ना कहीं पोडियम फिनिश था उनका। बट यही नहीं, अगर आप फ्री फायर वर्ल्ड सीरीज की बात करें तो 2024 के अंदर RRQ अगेन वो रनर अप बनते हुए नजर आती है। एंड चौथे पायदान पर वहीं पर ग्लोबल टूर्नामेंट के अंदर अगेन 2025 में फ्री फायर वर्ल्ड सीरीज में वो लोग चौथे पायदान पर आते हैं। एंड कहीं ना कहीं आप देख सकते हैं 7th, फिर 2nd, 3rd, 4th, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो पोडियम फिनिश के काफी ज्यादा पास रहते हैं। और ये भी इनकी एक अच्छी खासी स्टोरी लाइन वो क्रिएट होते हुए नजर आ रही है। शायद हो सकता है कि 2026 इनके नाम हो। बट चलिए चलते हैं ओवरऑल रैंकिंग्स की ओर एंड देखते हैं कि आखिरकार 2 गेम्स के बाद कितने अंक यहाँ पर से किस किस स्क्वाड से निकाले हैं। इवोस की अगर मैं चर्चा करूं, 41 पॉइंट्स यहां पर से ऑलरेडी बटोर चुके हैं। 23 एलिमिनेशंस अपने नाम करे थे और एक बूया लगाया है। लाउड स्नीकर्स का भी सबसे पहला बूया था और वहीं पर 41 पॉइंट्स इनके भी है। 20 एलिमिनेशन है, यानी कि प्लेसमेंट में थोड़ा सा ज्यादा फोकस करें, बिकॉज पहले गेम के अंदर बूया था, दूसरे गेम के अंदर वो दूसरे पायदान पर यहां पर से देखते हुए नजर आ रहे थे। वहीं पर तीसरी, चौथी, पांचवी और छठी पायदान वाली स्क्वाड्स को आप देख सकते हैं, धीरे धीरे वो पॉइंट्स नीचे कम होते नजर आते हैं। 33, 32, 32 और 27 अंकों के साथ यहां पर से हमको टीम फैल्कन्स वो छठे पायदान पर दिखाई देते हुए नजर आने वाली है। एलिमिनेशंस धीरे धीरे कम हो रहे हैं। बट आप गन डायनेस्टी की बात करें तो 23 एलिमिनेशन है, यानी कि DRS गेमिंग से ज्यादा एलिमिनेशन बटोरे हैं। बट एक अंक यहां पर से कम है उनसे। बट DRS जिस प्रकार से ये नेपाली स्क्वाड परफॉर्म करते नजर आ रही है, मानना पड़ेगा काफी अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस इनका अभी तक दिखाई दिया है। बूया से काफी ज्यादा क्लोज थे ये लोग। एक गेम वो बूया हो सकता था बर्मुडा का, काफी क्लोज थे, बट वो कहते हैं ना कि हाथ आया बट मुंह ना लगा, वो वाली सिचुएशन यहां पर से थोड़ी सी होते हुए नजर आई। बट वहीं पर अगर मैं 7वें पायदान की बात करूं, बुरीराम यूनाइटेड ई स्पोर्ट्स 25 अंकों के साथ है। वहीं पर अगेन 12वीं स्क्वाड की बात करूं तो डीमन स्प्राइड सिर्फ 4 अंकों के साथ यहां पर से आखिरी पायदान पर दिखाई देते हुए नजर आ रही है। तो ऐसी स्क्वाड्स जिनके जो स्टैट्स हैं वो थोड़े से कम नजर आ रहे हैं। हो सकता है कि ये जो 2 गेम्स है आप इसको टेस्ट समझे, फर्स्ट टाइम समझे, जो भी समझना है अपने माइंड में, जो भी आपको प्रेशर फील हो रहा था वो समझ कर यहाँ पर से इन 2 गेम्स को बाहर रख दें। बट अब जो 4 गेम्स आने वाले उसमें आपको कमबैक करना पड़ेगा, वरना अगले दिन में काफी ज्यादा मुश्किल आने वाली है।
एंड देखिए, कमबैक करने के लिए आपको आपके स्नाइपर की जरूरत पड़ेगी, बिकॉज वी नो कि करंट बेटा में आपकी टीम के स्नाइपर के ऊपर काफी भारी जिम्मेदारी होती है। वेदर आप टॉक अबाउट दी फ्लैंक एंगल्स, जहाँ पे प्लेयर्स फ्लैंक करते हैं और उस तरीके से वो पहला नॉक निकालते हैं, या फिर लॉन्ग रेंज बैटल्स की बात करें जहाँ पे सबसे इजीली गेट कीपिंग की जाती है, एंकर पोजीशन होल्ड किया जाता है और फ्रंट लाइन बैक लाइन्स क्लियर करी जाती है। काफी जिम्मेदारी है यहाँ पे स्नाइपर के ऊपर। एंड इंडियन टीम्स के पास मैं कहूँगा बहुत अच्छे स्नाइपर्स हैं। आप अगर करंटली देखें, चाहे आप केडी गॉड की बात करें, हमने देखा किस तरीके से विदाउट स्नाइपर यहाँ पे आई थिंक ACATF मार्क्समैन राइफल कोई चला रहे थे, बहुत अच्छी।
I'm really sorry again.
It's okay. It's our job.
I
It's
always
our
feel
job
bad
to
to
point
say
out.
that because I really want them to do well. I mean, obviously they have quite a name, that a reputation they need to upkeep. So this is just something that I feel very sad about seeing from them. I just hope that they can bounce back and do better.
Well, we'll have to see though, because judging from that story, if you really need plenty of time, and we're only talking about what 4 days overall, then you'll be a loss already at first, and you don't want to be in the bottom 2 of that leaderboard, because true enough, after 2 days, you'll be out.
You'll definitely be out. And you know what? I want you, Lace, to put in your coach mentality. If you're looking at BP from Pakistan, I mean, this squad, a lot of people expected them to do well, especially all the crowd from Pakistan. Right now, they're in last place. If you're the coach, what are you going to go over there and tell them?
I'm telling you to get a boot freaking yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I can tell.
What I'm saying.
I can tell that there's something Lace really want to tell them, but she can't say it on camera.
I gotta be broadcast friendly here, okay? Let me let like the Australian out, please, guys. Let me let it loose. But look, those teams, and this is what we talk about when you say, you know, the mental capabilities of these teams. When you sit at that lower of the leaderboard, it is hard to sort of pick it back up and get to those sorts of spots with our AGLs and even like our GDs and stuff like that. It's going to be a little bit of a trek, but obviously 4 matches. Purgatory's next. Yeah. I heard Neptune say this is heaven or hell. So can they maybe get the heaven than Purgatory?
Okay, Purgatory coming up. What are we expecting, Neptune?
I don't know. I'm hoping for a skewed flight path and a rough circle. Sorry for the teams out there. I know you want to get it easy right now, but
just like Aurora.
Yeah, I should be asking for the other one. What I did to Aurora right there was just definitely jinxed them.
I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself, okay? We got 2 more matches coming up before you probably end up seeing us. Overall, 4 more matches here for Group A. Would you like to change your pick from Aurora?
Oh my God.
I gotta give him a chance.
I'm scared for you, really.
Yeah.
Would you like to curse any other team, sir?
Actually, I don't want to curse any teams anymore because like it's very getting very dangerous right now. Like this is a big stage, and if I'm being blamed of them not getting into the next stage, so I don't know. But I'm still cheering on for Aurora. Hopefully this time it's just a first game jinx, and then the rest will be quite well. Because even in game 2, like we've seen them perform well. So first day jitters or first game jitters, that's what they might have felt. But yeah, let's see if they can get that booyah.
That's exactly
what I see you smiling on it. She's like,
yeah, I mean, I've been talking about the first day. It's always unpredictable, right? Because of the jitters, the nervousness, the pressure that they have. But yeah, going into the 3rd and the 4th game, I think a lot of things needed to change. And Purgatory is actually a map that is a little forgiving on that. It's a great place for a reset. So I'm just so excited to see what the teams are going to bring.
And we have seen some of the other squads, right? Especially going back to the first game, AG. AG did great. I mean, this is one that you guys were picking as a surprise to be able to do good here. Boy, did they surprise us in the first game.
Yeah, one thing that personality of AG is trying to keep away from all those engagement. Yeah. If they can bathe onto like outside of the circle on the 3rd, 4th phase of that map, then they will do so. And even with a like team booster that we have, the out of zone buff that is available, say they will be able to soak up in there, just get their position. Because do really need that time to get information as a sniper as a squad, and also the launch pad. That's the angle that we need to take right there was just difficult, especially if you have 6 or 7 teams remaining on 4th to 5th phase of the circle.
So what you're saying, we're seeing AGL probably follow their same format coming out of match 1 because, like, you know, they did land uncontested in like our first map, and then they, you know, GD that we saw, who is just an absolute heavy hitter, they were kind of like sneaking on down to AGL, and AGL's like, no, we need a little bit of space. So that's what you're saying. Match number 3, they're going to need their space, and then that's where they fly.
Okay, you know what? You got lucky because I was going to have you pick a team, and I was going to see if you would end up cursing a team, but I'm being told Game 3 is ready, so why not? Let's send it to AJ and Tash, and maybe they'll be willing to curse a team or encourage them.
Yeah, thanks, Seven. You know what? I don't think we're going to be cursing any squads. In fact, we are going to be blessing them with a little bit of extra luck out there. You know, in the first 2 games, we did see consistency from the reigning defending champions, EVOS Divine, as well as the Brazilian squad, Loud. But there are a couple of teams down at the bottom. I'm hoping to see more from this time round. I think that the panel called them out earlier. Tag, Team Apex Gaming. The Indian squad hasn't really been having a smooth run out there. But Purgatory is a huge map. Tons of compounds out there. You can play avoidance of majority of these initial engagements. And this could just be the kind of break that Tag needs. But that is going to be purely dependent on if or not they're going to be able to avoid the early hot drops.
Yeah, I really want to also say that some teams take a while to really heat up, right?
Yeah.
Especially since today and tomorrow, they have a little bit of a leeway, just really find their footing. I think, you know, like what Conchita said, they're nervous, they're a little bit more, I would say, pressured. But now as you go to 3rd map, now things should just ease up.
Absolutely. And again, Team Apex Gaming in a little bit of a pickle. They've got two monsters right beside them. One from LATAM, Gun Dynasty, has been cooking the squads that they come across in the early parts of the game so far. They've got the Dinoculus used up already, scanning out multiple players. Falcons scanning the area as well. On Fire and Racha just at the perimeter, looking to play third party. And perhaps this is that one big blessing that Team Apex Gaming is going to get from this equation. Maybe having Falcons a little bit closer to Gun Dynasty will give them an advantage to survive this initial battle.
Yeah, Dio already bought back into the game quickly. Shoto barely alive.
Tags out?
Live, yeah. Oh, man.
How? How in the world did we lose Titan Esports Club before even hopping on into the game here? Unbelievable. 19 points, and they do not have anything from this game. But Gun Dynasty, on the other hand, they're going to go in here for the annihilation. But now punishing KD God and Super Survivor, Super Reviver of the Gun Dynasty squad, looking for more. Will miss Shoto, who cracks it on in with the Valiant Dash, catching up with him, taking Benel out with the Max 7.
Yeah, and he was the guy just, responsible to bring the team back into the game, and now he has been brought in here. Now, Tag has an idea where exactly everyone is. Revoz decides to join in on the fight as well. Still waiting in the wings for the right, I think, opening, just really join in, but now on fire, finding Wolvin already, and this off angle by Rasha could be nasty for the Falcons players.
Team Apex Gaming, all the blessings in the world. See, I told you, panel, we were going to bless them, not curse them. With all the blessings in the world, they get to avoid the initial encounter. We thought Falcons was going to be a little bit of a problem to deal with, but the White Tigers have dropped on in to say hello. You turning the table on them. Aim got taken out of the equation already. Apex, the electrotherapy is on connection, but unfortunately for the rest of the Falcons players, they will not be able to get out of this pinch. Shoto now tossing in the grenade. Can he find more? And it's just gonna be the ice grenade that gives him a little bit of an advantage here. What a knock on to Ray. Shoto, Team Apex Gaming not running away, staying and taking the fight straight to them.
And it started off with Tag with the ones that's on the lower of
Shoto!
But Shoto putting the damage here. Rasha moving away.
One more!
And movement coming in. Rasha cannot run away. Life.
Yeah, Chak Day India, baby. Shailjaat though, knocked down. Shiru finding him from across. Can they get more? Gun Dynasty trying to take a little bit of a revenge here onto Team Apex Gaming. Two players out of the equation already, but on the other side of things, TEC, it was the battle up against Paradox earlier, and Windy did a number on them. Connected with the electrotherapy, was down, almost taken out, but he got the triple on them to knock them out of the lobby early.
That is almost surgical when you think about it, how they're moving around together as a team. Meanwhile, Tag already on 6 eliminations here. Wolven's now back into the game. All eyes are on GD here, as Falcons as well is in trouble. There we go, Pina now out.
Shout out to production. I love the fact that they caught us up with what happened to TEC in the earlier parts of the game, and it's great to see Africa stepping up their gameplay out there. But Team Apex Gaming, talk a little bit about some step up out there, baby. 7 eliminations already, and they're looking for more. Buriram fighting the players on the side of DP. Madara straight down to the ground, taken out of the equation already. Get high, and Moshi looking for more. Top 16 though has got the vending machine right behind him, but does he have the coins to bring back his buddies?
Now in this situation here, Jonah is just barely alive, trying to stay here. But even then, look at his rotations. I think that for DP, the easiest way to move around this is just really stay alive and move away from the area.
Okay, to answer my own question, he did not have enough coins. Madara's not going to be brought right back in. But the stealth bites helps him to reposition, catching up with Aswab. The players now looking to find a little bit of a reset. You will find Paradox, sniping down, snipe himself. Pun not intended. Windy gonna get the wind knocked out of him. Pun definitely intended. And AGAL getting a number down on them. Paradox, can he continue to survive? And Benel is up to it again, continuously reviving the rest of his team members. He's pulling a Russia on the rest of the world here for the LATAM squad.
You know, I really am curious, like, toward the end of this tournament, how many Benel would have, revived, and would it be a world record to see how many he would be able to do so? Now, the rest of GD also back into the game as well. Look at this middle side of the map here. There's like, what, 4 teams hanging around there? Grum United, PDX, Aurora, even DRS somewhere close by, DP, AGAL. It's
Azrael?
cluster of fights.
Man, Azrael, wrong move there, but that was desperation for sure. Up against two players, jumped on into the vehicle, but the VSK snaps him right out of it. And Aurora in a pinch, but maybe the interference of Buriram can help the Malaysian squad here. Alu now focusing on the players on the side of Buriram. Electrotherapy connected to the rest of his buddies, but if Alu gets taken out early here, DRS is going to be in a little bit of a pinch without their support player. But Prateek is in a great position with the Car 98, should be able to have a tad bit of an advantage here, but the angle's just not working out for them. DRS wants to reposition. And thankfully, Buriram is actually not going in for the hunt. They're looking to reposition and find a safer haven for themselves instead.
Yeah, Buriram United always like to prioritize surviving super early as well. AGL Cypher does get one over on the other end. Got me a bit nervous for Buriram United when I saw some shots coming toward them. I think Loud was really hot at their heels right then. But Buriram United, if they do move forward there, they will be running up against DP. Loud on the other end, just putting in to the PDX and AGL players.
Again, shout out to the team in the back. The observers have been on fire. Thank you very much for making sure you guys catch all of the action out there, because it is hot on the lobby today. And like you said, we've got too many squads in this next circle, and that's exactly what Purgatory has been able to give us for quite a bit. Stroex and Rasya leading the eliminations, and Benel actually keeping up with them with the damage out there. I mean, Benel, what a superstar. Super survivor, super rescuer, reviving the squad multiple times. Also one of the rushers of the squad, bringing in the numbers through eliminations for the LATAM squad. This is the best that we have seen out of them, and I feel like they're giving us the consistency that we usually look for. But Team Apex Gaming, great start. Can they continue against the champions of 2024? Falcons right in front of them, but Falcons are spread out. This is a big advantage for Team Apex Gaming.
Yeah, this is really great at just really finding these openings. And you can tell they're very hungry. They've been hot on the Falcons' tails for quite some time here. Even Shoto on fire right now. And the rest of TAG wants to collapse onto this fight. They've taken away the space, but Falcons has a little bit more space to prepare.
They got to be careful here. They don't have information. They're rushing straight in. Team Apex Gaming needs to slow down the pacing here, get that info, and then play their positions well, because the flank on the side of Falcons might just be exactly what gives them the victory over Team Apex Gaming. And as requested, Team Apex Gaming says hasta la vista, putting a little bit of a distance between themselves and Falcons. Pina, a sliver of health on him, but no finisher just yet. The Moco tagging them up, and India, they do give away their positions, but will win. Perfect Thompson play, knocking down on fire. Raja with the M590 looking for the revenge, but those glue walls played perfectly by India.
They kept him away. He wasn't able to follow. He cannot come in. And now the rest of TAG wants to go to this fight. Here Raja is alone. Tied in the corner. On fire's back in the game already. Rushes forward. Raja in the corner and taken down and out. Eliminated already here, but Falcons brings him back in quickly.
Yeah, boy, Shoto's on fire. And Team Apex Gaming right back in it, but they got to make sure they finish what they started. Karora right out there. Pina with the support play. Wolvin knocked down already, and this is still trouble time. Team Apex Gaming, they've got the vending machine out here outside the circle. They need to clean up their act right here, right now. The eliminations are looking good, but Falcons are not going to get taken down that easy. Shoto with the flank. What a headshot. Shoto's on fire, and Team Apex Gaming will survive.
I love Shoto, how aggressive, how confident he was in taking up that space, knowing how exactly to play with the information and position he has.
What a recovery. The revives are on point as well. And Team Apex Gaming on Purgatory. We talked about them having a little bit of extra room to breathe. And with that extra bit of oxygen in their system, they are on fire. And Falcons now on the revival spree, but with 1,300 in his pockets. Double revival, no problems at all. Falcons, though, on a little bit of a reset. Buriram close to their compound. But I don't think the World Jams will be looking to take the fight up against them. Falcons scanning out their area with the Dinoculus, a counter Dinocular used here, potentially by either EVOS or Buriram. As the players on the side of DP slowly makes their way in, AGAL looking for that backstab. Not intentionally, they're gonna find one, but they're not gonna second guess their movements at all. They want to take DP out of the equation here before they take away their defensive spot as well.
I am curious to see how exactly the rotation is going to come in for TAG. They're so far away from everyone else, but this late rotation could potentially benefit them. Letting everyone take this fight early. Vandal quick to find Alu here as well. One knockdown. Top 16 also almost following suit here. And AGL knowing this, quick reposition forward, and DRS, Takuri now knocked down.
Oh, Gun Dynasty coming across DRS. Wrong timing here for the rail. So but Pratik and Stroex turning things around, and 590 takes down our swap, and this is AGL interfering, perfect timing, and DRS in a little bit of a pickle. Stroex, can you get away? Even if you do, can you get enough coins to play recovery? All alone now for the side of the Rail Soldiers, and Gun Dynasty under the crosshairs of Team Loud. The recovery is going to be close to impossible here for Gun Dynasty. If they pull it off somehow without Benel, it is going to be a miraculous run for Schwab.
Just really waiting things out right now. Kiroro is here with Falcons. They have like a nice, I think, off angle to play with, but not even close to get into that circle. You have to take this fight against EVOS, which is going to be so annoying. Even Stroex, look how far back he has to move away from the area just to survive.
A little bit of a slower pace. And scanning out 4 players on the side of EVOS as well. Good Dinocular once again from the side of Falcons, but what can you do with that extra bit of information? You can't flank around too far off to the left and tank a lot of the damage, putting yourself out in the open. So Falcons are going to actually go in for a direct approach here. And clearly Abex, the M249X in hand, not worry at all about losing his bullets. He can spray, barely needing to pray. But Team Apex Gaming, I hope you've said your prayers already. You're coming close to one of the biggest dominators in the competition, who are not really on fire just yet. So maybe that's gonna be the blessing here. Shoto, Superman for the side of Team Apex Gaming, looking for the shutdown. Wasana, looking for those nades as well. And for the time being, the ice grenades tagging them up. But Buriram not going anywhere. They want to take this fight, and they're waiting for Team Apex Gaming to break down those glue walls so they can have an advantage.
And meanwhile, over on this side here, EVOS
Katie got
the Falcons out of that circle. Pina finds this angle, puts the damage onto Aimgot, reposition, but hard to do anything as EVOS collapses onto the members of the Falcons. On fire, barely alive. One member knocked down as well. Moving together as a team, the double swings are too much to deal with.
Yeah, that's what I said, man. Falcons can get all the information they want off of the Dinoculars, but they were just in a rough spot positionally. Could not flank around to the left. EVOS would have sniped them out of the waters instantaneously, had to take a straightforward fight because of the damage of the circle, and EVOS just had the better position. The Rail Soldiers, on the other hand, there's nowhere else to go. Gun Dynasty still alive and kicking with the 2 players. No revives possible for them, but they're now trying to play the placement points. Ain't looking for the reposition. Rastia tagged up already. Stroex single-handedly trying to take down as many players as possible from the side of EVOS, but the jig is up. The moment Gun Dynasty closes in on him, DRS might just be that extra point that Gun Dynasty needs.
Here comes Ray as well. Stroex taking a lot of damage already hanging in this corner. He's stuck here. Either you go down to the zone or you go out in the open and you crunch between 2 different teams. But he's not going to stop trying though. He spots Rasha, goes a bit too wide, and the rest of EVOS, they're just going to wait for him to come out in the open.
Yeah, he's got the mini launcher on his side. He can quickly reposition, but potential to be sniped out of the air is high here. Now the zone's going to catch up with him as well. He's probably not running the team boosters, and he's going to sustain a ton of damage off of that, but still playing it safe. One with Mother Nature, finding some cover right behind the tree. And there's just so much the tree can do for you, buddy. The grenades are going to find the tags onto him, forcing him to use those medkits as well. One great wall, keeping the players of AJL and Buriram far away from each other. And the engagement between these 2 titans will not break out just yet.
AGL had taken a lot of, I think, players out here as well. Now EVOS just kind of just moving around the zone right now, trying to see whether I can get some pickoffs, excuse me. Maybe they can just stay away from these fights. Speaking of fights here, BRU up against AGAL. The only thing separating them is just just this wall. Cypher does take a bit of damage here, but if anything, eventually, Dew will fall. It's going to be Apex with a great opening there.
Okay, a couple of grenades over the wall. Could be a big one, but Buriram calls for the bolt maker. Lightning zone now. It's going to be that pressure for both AGAL as well as EVOS Divine. Loud going to be hopping on into the battle as well, but Waka eliminated from the equation before he can even make a play. And a counter lightning zone called upon Buriram as well. Two teams with the bolt maker out there. EVOS Divine with a big brain play off of those monster trucks. Extra layer of defense here for them. You can blow it up, but you cannot touch them just yet.
Yeah, Nameless get knocked out here. Nasha goes for 2 even to the AGAL side. And now, Buriram United wants to go and stealing away the kills. No, it's Rasha that's able to secure every single elimination point. Now, the tension changes. Buriram United has to fight against EVOS Divine, and they're gonna try and collapse forward.
A familiar situation here. Southeast Asia takes over Purgatory. And EVOS Divine up against Buriram United Esports. Can they go for a back-to-back booyah? Or will Buriram ruin the party here for EVOS? Either way, EVOS will still stay at the top of the leaderboard. Looking at their consistency so far. Valiant Dash breaking down their own defenses, but Wasana doesn't pull away too much from that. Moshi with the M82B gets the knock. Ray still standing up close and personal up against Jonah, who gets the hop up off of the glue wall and finds Aim God right behind it. And Buriram looking for the finisher up against EVOS.
Yeah, Wasana just rushing forward here. Rasha here all alone. The shots going a bit too hard, but Mochi going huge here. And there we go. Buriram United getting that booyah. Amazing work. Jonah, movement god.
Never before the champion here at the Esports World Cup. Could this be the year for Buriram United Esports? We talked about how Russia was the super sniper on the side of EVOS. We saw the amazing plays from him, but we cannot forget the one and only Moshi, baby. I fell in love with the snipers because of this guy, and he is back. This is his meta. This is his time to shine once again, and he cleaned up the battlefield in the final sequence.
Honestly, every single one of these members for the teams, I think really stood out to me as well. But that final few picks coming from Moshi that's completely cleaned up house and turned the tides for this team. Personally, for me, I saw the pressure coming in toward EVOS Divide, and I thought they have high capabilities of turning around the tides.
Yeah.
But Buriram United, knowing this, did not give them that chance this time and completely decided to just completely collapse at the right timing.
Absolutely. 3-time world champs right there for a good reason. Mainly Jonah, who I think is the most decorated player on that stage as far as his career here in Free Fire Esports is concerned. And they are the ones who have everything on their side in terms of rotations, IQ plays, perhaps a couple of hiccups here and there, but nobody can take away the fact that they are definitely one of the favorites out here to cause a lot of trouble. But can they get all the way to the end? Because EWC hasn't really been very kind to the squad so far.
No, I completely agree with you. There are just so many times that I think the Southeast Asian talent that we always say, Buriram United is going to be the one at the very top. They always start off very hot, I believe.
Yeah.
But then after a while, you start to see them waver a little bit. I'm wondering how this year would change for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, towards the end, it was more of a hunting game. The players just looking for those shots. And Moshi, as the sniper of the squad, just not holding back at all, right? Just taking the fight straight up to them. The M82B got a little bit of a bump recently on the OB update, and these guys are not doubting it at all in terms of usage. Now, we've got a few commercials to play. Tash and I will be right back with you after the panel catches up with you guys.
Hello everyone, it's Yuso and we are live in Paris here in EWC 26 Free Fire stage. And right next to me, we have our two co-streamers who are so popular in Vietnam. Introduce to you, Bad Gao and Cyrus. Xin chào tất cả mọi người. Thì không biết là hiện tại là mình đang được ngồi đây sân khấu tại Pháp thì mọi người đang cảm giác như thế nào vậy ạ?
Xin chào tất cả các bạn nha. rất là hồi hộp các bạn, mà không khí ở đây gọi là tuyệt vời và chưa bao giờ mà thấy một cái sân khấu mà lớn như thế này các bạn ơi. Mình không biết là áp lực của các tuyển thủ sẽ như thế nào nữa.
Sau đó thì cảm thấy như thế nào ạ?
Dạ em có thấy rất là vui ạ.
Vui thôi hả?
Dạ.
Mình bay rất là lâu tới đây mà chỉ thấy vui thôi hả?
Em cũng trải nghiệm được nhiều rồi.
Trải nghiệm được nhiều. Alright, overall the stage is really hype, big. They have never seen any stage like this. Very special to them in this Free Fire scenes. And overall, a very overwhelming feelings, happy when they're here in Paris to attend EWC 26 Free Fire. Okay, so I can see in the comment section thì không biết là từ nãy đến giờ mọi người theo dõi được 2 trận đấu rồi. Thì không biết là cả bác gấu và cả sau đó cảm thấy là các bạn khán giả của mình comment như thế nào vậy? Mọi người có hưng phấn, có đang chờ đợi màn trình diễn của Team Secret của mình không ạ?
Wow, rất nhiều người ở Việt Nam và rất nhiều người khán giả hâm mộ của series WEG đang trông chờ màn ra mắt của WEG, và rất nhiều khán giả đang coi ở tất cả kênh sóng của Garena FREEFIRE Việt Nam đang rất bất ngờ bởi vì cái phong thái thi đấu của cái đội tuyển ở Latam hay là ở kể cả Mexico hoặc là Ấn Độ. Họ đánh giá thấp Brazil, nhưng năm nay Brazil trở lại khá là mạnh mẽ. Yes,
Cảm ơn bác gấu ạ. Vậy thì Cyrus sẽ cảm thấy như thế nào về trong 2 trận đấu vừa qua đi? Thì Cyrus sẽ đánh giá như thế nào? Bởi vì bảng A cũng sẽ là một cái bảng rất là căng thẳng so với bảng B của chúng ta.
Thì theo em thấy thì sau 2 trận thi đấu thì em thấy cũng khá là khắc nghiệt. Nếu mà đội nào sẽ thi đấu mà gọi là xuống phong độ sẽ đội đó sẽ bị loại.
Chính xác là như vậy. So as we can see that of this coming tournament, here we have a lot of teams, Latam, India, and so many move on board. And very excited to see a huge circle of Free Fire all attending here to compete their best to get the champions at EWC 26. And overall, after 2 matches from Cyrus depends on him. Well, who got the weakness has go down, obviously. And of course, I can see that everyone is really hyped, especially for Team Secret, as known as WAG from Vietnam, are also here to attend EWC 26. We'll attend the match in the Group B after this Group A end. Well, this is the end, and I love the energy of everyone here. Everyone looks so happy and very hyped for their favorite team, and I do hope you guys are also like that. Please continue to support your team.
Boy, we had to make sure we got away from some of our other analysts because I know they were hyped. That Booyah Ram has finally showed up. They got that Booyah, and this is what we were expecting out of the 3-time world champs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the champions and champions right now. One taking the global finals, one taking the EWC. So you would expect really fire gameplay out of that final game, out of the final match, final circle. AJL though, I mean, I think like we just looked away, and then the moment that we look back, they were out. So the final 2 teams, 4v4, it was just phenomenal. But I'm also looking forward to how Lao is going to recover right now, because I think they were pushed down a little bit too hard this time. And Rim United, after getting that Booyah, they just catapulted themselves up.
Do you think they're going to be, especially for Loud, right? Do you think this is the next game? It's time for them to bounce back because we're seeing consistency once again out of EVOs.
Yeah, I mean, EVOs being a top 3 in 2 games or 3 games already is enough. Like, if you want to be in there, just an easier ticket to stage 3, then that's what they need right now. Compared to their Southeast Asia, right? They always go for the longer route, the longer days, like even not skipping a day because they're there at the bottom going into elimination before the grand finals, before point rush. So I'm loving this version of EVO's Divine right now. Probably it's because of the crowd giving them more energy.
True, and this is the halfway point as well for Group A on day 1 of Free Fire at Esports World Cup 26. Now, out of all the squads, right, we're hyping up the squads that are doing good. Let's talk about some of the other squads that needed to improve on that 3rd game. And one of them that ended up improving, at least for my liking, had to be Tag. Boy, this squad was finally able to start putting up some eliminations on the board, and this is what we're expecting them. I know Lucifer in the back is expecting even more out of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were just talking about that earlier before the game started, and then we saw them perform. So it's a good thing as well that it only took them a couple of games before for their warm-up, before they will bring it on. Because being at the bottom two, or almost the bottom two, that's not a place that you want to be, even if you still have another day to play. So you don't want to risk it. At least bring yourself halfway to what is intended, and then that's when you play. If you don't like, that's when you gauge. If you really don't want to show that much performance, just go in there in the skirts of what is needed to get to the next stage.
Yeah, and the good thing too, like going in regards to Evos, in regards to Buram United, now that are starting to get all these points, right? One thing that is going good for this squad, yeah, they're performing well, they're being consistent, but they're just sponging up all those points at the top. And don't forget, once we finish tomorrow from Group A, the top 4 will be going to Champion Rush Finals. And the last 2 will be going home, and in between they'll be going to survival. But that sponge of points there from the top is kind of just making everything even tighter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's difficult for them to really catch up. Like, because of the huge lead that you have right there, it's making it hard for the teams to really catch up, and it's also demeaning at some point. Like, you will see your team at the bottom trying and struggling that much to bring in the numbers, and then you see the top wherein you, even if you still have one day, but everyone is competitive at this point. You want to get closer and closer to where you're intended to be, to skip one day and just watch everyone play.
Yeah, and from this map that we just saw, Purgatory, remember, this is one that you were looking to see some crazy stuff. I gotta ask you, were you happy with what we saw there out of Purgatory, or do you want to see more madness?
Well, definitely more madness, more chaos with a K. Because Purgatory, like, I'm not given that most of the opportunity for a skewed flight path, the like ruining for final circle. But at least the teams are treating it as if it's a skewed flight path. The early engagement that's happening, a lot of teams trying to go in and out for battle, and that's what makes it exciting, because they're just playing it with the spirit of the map itself.
Yeah, and now going to the last 3 games here of Group A, right? Earlier we were talking about tag. We wanted to see them being able to step up. I know we have a team from Pakistan as well that, I mean, we want them to see step it up because they just have such a passionate fan base back at home. I want you to tell me a team that you're going to be looking at, especially this next 3 matches, to either continue to be consistent the way they have been, or that you might see some fluctuation on their performances.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Paradox Gaming. Currently, they're at the bottom of the leaderboard right now, but at some point, we've seen the aggression as well from their regionals. So it's something that they can bring to the table a little bit early this time instead of waiting for the second day. And also, some of the consistency that we've seen from DRS Gaming, because the Real Soldiers Gaming is one of those that we didn't expect really show up the first time in EWC, first time in global in terms of a Free Fire competitive scene, and they're really doing well. I don't know if this is the full extent of their performance, or they're just still biding and waiting for the opportunity to bring the fire on.
I mean, they just gotta put themselves in that position where they can actually just claw at that booyah like Buram United Esports was able to do on that last one. Wasana was one of the players that I know Conchita really wanted to see them being able to step up in their performance and actually perform for their squad. Is there any player or any 2 players that in the next 3 matches you're gonna be keeping a close eye on because you want them to impact the game in a positive way for their team?
Yeah, one thing I'm really looking at, especially if Wasana is involved, you have Get High in there. Get High with a combination of Wasana would be really aggressive on their tip-top shape. And also Moshi in there, like staying in the back lines. Depending on the map though, if we go into a map wherein it's like favoring the snipers, we might see Moshi and Jonah pull away, try double sniper, or just get information in the early parts of the game, and then just leave the opportunity for Wasana as well as Get High to go for those elimination. And one signature that I keep seeing from Buram United is once they get that knock, they pull out the launch pad and jump straight into the battle.
We have a lot of viewers that might be watching Free Fire for the first time. If you are one of those viewers, please let us know on social media. Use that hashtag EWC. Use that hashtag EWC26. I want you to explain to the new viewers that are watching Free Fire for the first time about that launch pad, because I absolutely love it, as we're just being absolutely sidetracked here by a dancing... Is that a dancing bull or a dancing cow?
Dancing bull. And I love the energy.
Yes.
I really love the energy on the stage right now. And
that Fluxo, I can't tell.
Yeah, it is. It
is, right? I'm like, I have glasses on and I can't tell if it's like, you guys playing like three more games, okay? Your group is gonna be coming up. Hopefully you guys brought the drums, you brought that Brazilian energy, because we've seen it so far with Loud, but I know once we go into Group B, we wanna see Fluxo bring it.
Oh yeah, I mean, great potential for the team right now. And a great revenge storyline coming from them, because from what we've said, from what we've seen as well, there's a lot of disappointing run, and it was caused by these couple of champions that we have in front of us right now. So I love to see. It's a good thing as well, it's a very different group, because they won't have to beat them on the get-go.
They're just waiting to see each other on the finals or survival, which honestly, if you're Evos, if you're Burim, it's not going to be looking like you're going to be going to survival. If they keep playing like this, consistency, you might as well just put it in their middle name, because these squads have been very consistent. But I think it's time we start the second half of Group A. Let's send it over to AJ, Tash Bunny.
Honestly, insane seeing what's going on ground. We have so many people here. We have mascots on the ground as well. And we're already halfway through the first group.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm very sure that the fans out there are excited to see their teams perform out here on the battles. But it is definitely a big question mark for some of the squads, right? You look at Paradox Gaming, you look at how they're doing out there so far. I feel like the gunfights in Purgatory were so much better, but they're still having their first day jitters full on. I want to see a little bit of an improvement as we head on into this game number 4.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about, you know, you have how much space to really just warm up that engine, get yourself into the groove of the game. But as we go into the day, yes, 2 days, but already for Group A, we're halfway through. 3 more maps to go before they go on a break for the rest of the day and then come back tomorrow. But then again, playing catch-up against these teams is not going to be easy.
Locally, for Paradox, this is one of their better maps. So this could just be exactly what turns their fate around here on day 1. You don't really want to be depending on day 2 to find that recovery back into the competition. And you sure as hell don't want to be at the bottom 2 spots, because that is straight up relegation tomorrow if that is where you're going to end the day on. But as we head on into game number 4, it's time for some Next Terra.
Nextera is interesting. There's just so many different bits and bobs parts of this maps. Oh, how he's going to go. And on top of that as well, we are still seeing, I think, somewhat of a hot drop here. Looking here, we have PDX, I think, toward the Deca Square with another team. I'm not too sure. I can't really see who exactly is that. I believe it's DRS.
Russia leading the leaderboard right now with elimination. 16 points personally delivered by the Super Sniper, the Wonder Kid. Still the Wonder Kid. And I think nobody else is going to be taking away the title from him. No one else has shown the kind of determination, the kind of hunger, as well as the performance that Russia has shown us ever since he stepped onto a stage like this. But Loud, once again, looking to do exactly that as they play a little bit of Clash Squad up against Falcons.
There's a lot of things going on over there as well. You see On Fire reposition himself a little bit more further forward, keeping his head down here, because there's a lot of pressure that they're putting onto him as well. His teammates aren't super close as well. So if anything, he's just buying a bit of time, but his teammates, I think, shouldn't be a problem to bring him back into the game if he does go down fairly early. But if anything, the best case scenario for Falcons, well, you steal away 1 more kill before you get knocked down here. But BCP is tracking him right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess it's not a full-on Clash Squad battle, because Falcons, most of them out of this Rushdown area. The rotations are coming on through, and it looks like Loud wants that big flank to find the extra point off of the Falcon player. We'll catch up with them later on as Buriram spots out Demon's Pride, top 16, about to be tagged up. Jonah has got the M24 in hand, just no angles to work off of it just yet. Gun Dynasty, on the other hand, with a very early reset at least pulling back one player back in here. And with a phenomenal flank on fire, finally taken out of position there. HEAL, one player down on the ground. The battle between them and Gun Dynasty does not end well here for Gun Dynasty. The recovery definitely needed once again. And Benel is on the case.
Yeah, in this situation here in AGL, they've always been so proactive with these early fights as well. Already 5 eliminations here. Saifa once more. Rahat is on the other end waiting as TEC already in such a precarious position, but his teammate's able to be brought back into the game, but Nejat goes down to PDX.
Oh, Team Apex Gaming. Extra point for them, baby, if they can pick this up. Thrill of Battle popped perfectly. And a timely Thrill of Battle leads to Wolven picking up that extra point. But here comes Demon's Pride. They want the fight. They take this jump straight to the vending machine. Instant revival, but Madara sacrifices himself for that pick. Jazzy comes in for the save, picking up his buddy. No extra revivals needed. TAG, Team Apex Gaming, didn't finish those players off just yet. Catch a quick replay here in the middle of a very important battle for Team Apex Gaming. But it looks like they'll call for a little bit of a truce for the time being.
Yeah, just now, I think a lot of things are going on in that situation. I think they got cornered, if you ask me. Now, as we look at the main fight that's currently going here, TAG is still chasing the heck out of GP. Have Jazzy already knocked down as well. And I have to say, TAG doing a great job just cornering their prey, making sure that they can't reposition.
Almost got a little bit messy there. And obviously, the recovery was going to be important, and that's exactly what Team Apex Gaming finds for themselves. Buriram, they saw a player step into the compound of the Indian squad just moments ago. And as I say that, Wolven takes him right off the board. Get IXL is there though, and it looks like Buriram's taking a full-on fight up against the Indian squad. Team Apex Gaming might be in a little bit of a trouble here. Katie God brings Wolven right back in off screen, and Loud spotting out Gun Dynasty, who is looking for the recovery in this game. I don't know if or not they're ready for the battle. One player from the side of TEC is going to be stuck in this compound as well. It's going to get messy for them if they can't find the recovery for themselves.
Yeah, UAV is out as well. Should give away the position. Waka tried to get that. I think tried to just jump and see if he can get some info, but he got tagged. If anything, in this situation here, Kutush might be in trouble next. And I have to say, Ben will do a great job of marking every single enemy around the area. Nothing gets away from this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. They play the Moko really well. And he had the M82B and the SKS as well. Great attention from that long range and the advantage taken. And Katie God keeping the Indian squad still in the game with the double revive. Buriram trickled in one after the other, finding Team Apex Gaming. But the Indian squad could not take these giants out. 3-time world champs for a good reason. They're just ramping up very slowly here, not showing their aggressive side just yet, Buriram.
You can see how active the map is right now. Loud's getting a few pickoffs as well. I'm sure DRS as well, while everything has been going on here. In this situation, I think...
No, Katie God, just a wrong spot. Ran straight in at Buriram. No binoculars, no extra information out in the open. Just got spent. And now Falcons fighting the players of Gun Dynasty. Gun Dynasty's just had a rough run in this lobby this time round. Nextera's just not their place. Limit will find one from afar. David 444 found as well. The players of Gun Dynasty flanked all around, and it's the Falcons swooping on in. The birds of prey looking for a meal. And Gun Dynasty is just that fill.
Yeah, and Shairu is stuck outside the zone as well. What are you going to do here? You have to find a different way into the area. And Falcons wants, they desperately really want that one extra point. It almost feels like they just are playing with a vengeance. Now, in this situation here, GD looking good with 6 points already. Shairu still managing to stay alive. And right now, if we were to look at the leaderboard here, EVOS is looking really good right now. They have a huge lead compared to the rest of the teams. And in terms of, I would say, positioning right now, they're looking, I think, fairly alive. If anything, throughout the entirety of this day, EVOS has been doing well in terms of positioning, in terms of looking for pickoffs, in terms of looking for fights as well. And I don't think this is going to change anytime soon.
Of course, Nextera has always given us a lot of eliminations thanks to the number of vending machines, compounds that you can use for cover, not having to use up all of your glue walls too early in the matchup. And we're going to see quite a number of survivors again As I say that, the Rail Soldiers pulling in a double revive. Yet again, extra coins. Takuri making sure he brings back the 2 revives first. So great strategy played by him before he got caught out there. Unfortunate that he could not go in for that final revive. So 2 players down for the side of DRS once again.
AGL is really scary. If you think you managed to shake them off, they just really a false sense of security before finally being taken out. He's done his due diligence though. He brought his teammates back into the game, and I think bringing them back into the game poses a big threat to so many of these teams. Now, in this particular area where the Falcons was, you could see just now they were really looking for Jazzy. He's still very much alive, but they have to be very, very aware that Loud is close by somewhere in the wing. So this could potentially be a two-way fight. Is looking really good right now.
Rough run for Demon's Pride. Yeah, Pride definitely taking a hit here on day 1. Still down at the very bottom of our leaderboard with just 10 points to their side. KB444 down on the ground. Instant pickup there, and the recovery is solid for Gun Dynasty. But they have been challenged all throughout this lobby. The only luck they have now is they're dealing with DRS, and they've got the numbers advantage in this battle as well.
Really trying to find this bounty as well as really settle it down, as well as Alu tries to put a little bit of space away from GD. If he's able to maybe isolate this fight, buy a bit of time, so Stroix will be able to give him a bit of, I would think, support. That'll be really good. Now, the Falcons finally went toe-to-toe against Loud. BZP forced to move away here as the Falcons finally rally back. They have a nice high ground to play with. Over on the other side here, gonna cook up that nade, throw it forward, but I'm gonna think it's gonna be going a little bit too wide as BZP is just so quick on that reposition.
Yeah, that was a blind nade there. No Moko for the advantage. Good time turner for BZP. Has got the double barrel, but the Valiant Dash is bursting through him. Extra bit of confidence off of the electrotherapy that Cassie provided them. Limit those straight down to the ground. Recovery is not going to be impossible here, but they're going up against one of the best Brazilian squads. Loud can shut them down, and that's exactly what Nyx does. M10-14 perfection on fire taken down. Karoro shut down as well. Loud making a lot of noise, but Pina's there for the save. But the pickups have to be the focus here. And Falcons surviving this one. Guaca too far away to back up the rest of his brothers, and Falcons will survive because of that.
I am loving the fact that Falcons really double down on this, and then Dedrick as well, just stuck in the corner, trying his best to survive. But Buram United, they're saying no. So as much as you want to survive, it's not going to happen. We will dig you out of that hole if we to their name, and now they're gonna go and find a different way into the area. This mid-side area in terms of rotations here, southern side, EVOS has control of this area. Toward the western side, you have PDX is sort of moving around the area. Northern side, Aurora, but middle side here, you have, I think, GD and AGL forward, and TAG just busting forward, looking for this fight eagerly.
Just with that game 3, Buriram has jumped into the top 3 already. Now you see the Moko tagging up the players on the side of Team Apex Gaming. This is a little bit of a pinch. AGAL focus fire, but Team Apex Gaming very smartly repositioning, just staying away from the crosshairs of both AGAL as well as Gun Dynasty. A sticky situation here for the Indian squad for sure.
But they're not really showing their hand either. They're just really hoping to weather down that storm, because no team can really get too close to one another for these forward fights. Pina, somewhere along the lines there, does find Stroix eventually. Alu running forward. They're almost taken down on fire, but regardless of that, would have been traded. So now the blue zone comes through here. Kiroro should be brought back into the game, as Loud is slowly trying to recalibrate themselves.
Recalibrate indeed. The double revive coming on through. Full squad once again for the Brazilian squad. Loud have been loud from the start. Very consistent to keep themselves in the top 4. But they have to make sure they play a little bit of recovery here. And Nyx is going to have his foot shot off. A-Backs with a sharp shot from afar. AC80 perfection once again. And yet again, the Brazilian squad on the back foot. This is just not their lobby. Recovery seems to be really difficult. And that's exactly what Nextera is. Lots of spots to hide away at. And we have got a ton of squads. So many players still alive and kicking as we approach the 12 minutes.
Yeah, Alu is not going to be able to hit the ground there. Gonna just get knocked down so quickly. His teammate did try to give a bit of pressure there onto Buram United. Not happening though. You know, like you mentioned, Moshi just so superb on the snipers.
Oh yeah. I'm showing that, yes, we were ramping it up slow, but nothing impossible for us to catch up with. Russia, though, right below the bridge like a troll, up against Falcons, but gonna get caught all alone here. On fire, making the rotation. Russia, can you survive this one? What kind of trickery will you show us? It's Gun Dynasty that takes advantage of that chaos! And the follow-up is solid. EVOS with the revenge. The players on the side of Paradox taking advantage of the situation as well. Then Reek is going to get picked right back up. And Falcons off of that rotation put themselves under the bridge, losing 2 players in that sequence.
In this situation, EVOS as well, trying to take away this positioning coming in from Aurora, but cannot able to come close to them at all. And EVOS is very, very patient here, trying to find an opening, an angle, anything, but also aware that Loud is close by. One moment your head is out there in the open, it's going to be instantly popped, and that's how it is for both of these teams here. And it's sort of a momentary stalemate between these 3 teams. You have to worry about PDX as well. You also see that they're trying to rush away from the area as On Fire tries to put in the damage.
See if not On Fire can get this catch up here, quickly repositioning right under the robo. And it gives them a little bit of cover for the time being. The launch pad, I think they were looking for a little bit of a higher angle as DRS Gaming gets taken out of the equation, locked down by the thrill of battle, and Falcons needs to quickly reposition. They do not want to get stuck in a fight without their active skills. Riptide Rhythm from afar, EVOS will play some shots, but it's Aurora that takes the advantage with that shot. The Malaysian squad slowly seeking their way back in here. Locked down once again by the thrill of battle. Potentially out of the Brazilian squad this time round. Grenade, what a tight angle, played perfectly there. But Loud up against EVOS, that's going to be the appointment that they have to go through first before catching up with the Malaysians.
This is insane high stakes fights as well. Just fighting for this real estate property. Saifa gets knocked down somewhere in the corner here as EVOS still saves their lives by just hunkering down in a corner and waiting out the initial onslaught. You can see Trap barely alive already, taking out so much damage. Gets a top up here, trying to break into the building. And somewhere in the corner, Team Apex Gaming does already get eliminated here. Loud waiting patiently on the outer side here. Like it or not, EVOS and Aurora are gonna have to vacate the premises. Now the glue wall's been, I think, destroyed. They're coming into the area. EVOS forced to move back as well.
A smart reposition here by Loud. To put a great distance between themselves and the chaos that they almost encountered between EVOS and Aurora. Now leaving the battle between the Malaysian and the Indonesian squad. And the shots from afar, AGL putting that pressure onto both Aurora and EVOS. Riptide Rhythm breaking down the defenses. Azrael sneaky. But he saw the Riptide Rhythm and quickly stepped away from the window. Ray, on the other hand, not doing that. AGL getting a couple of tags in. Engot, the Moko tagging him up already. And it looks like he will sneak away. Ray, on the other hand, will not get the pleasure of doing so. Axel's gonna get caught out. Riptide Rhythm again putting on so much of pressure, taking advantage of this tight little compound. And Aurora again will get snuffed out early.
You is doing great, just really catching people in the mid of the rotations as well. Now EVOS only aim god is alive, gonna hunker down the corner as Loud is gonna work their magic onto GD. Aim god rushing through, but for the other side there's gonna be a massive Nyx and Trap doing a lot of magic, but GD pressuring them, and AGAL also wants to join in on that fight. GD rushing forward, and now right in the nick of time, you have AGAL fighting the last possible member from EVOS, not able to survive, so aim god down and out.
Yeah, that's it for EVOS. AGL spotted them out and they were just tracking them all the way through. And now Gun Dynasty trying to take on the Brazilians, but the interference from the Thai squad. AGL long range away and almost no cover at all except their glue walls. This is going to be trouble if a Skylar is in the hands of either Gun Dynasty or Loud. And they'll quickly take some cover behind the boulder as well as these trees. Great rotation, great defense from the Thai squad.
AGL being very patient here, stuck behind a rock, but definitely not a hard place yet. But now as GD wants to take away this real estate from Loud, cannot do so.
Oh,
what a nade! Nice damage onto Trap, but no more than that.
Beautifully played here by Latam. Understanding the angles perfectly. Trying to make use of the utilities instead of taking a straightforward fight up against Loud, who do have the positional advantage in that sequence. Shiru, though, caught in hand, looking for the flank, trying to play a little bit of pressure on AGAL to take AGL out of the equation here before they have to deal with Brazil. And AGL understands the little bit of a pinch that they are in, trying to close the distance down to take the positional advantage away from GD as the circle forces them closer in.
Shiro is just trying to really just come into the area, can go for this backstab. AGL does try to collapse forward, but the amount of pressure that Loud is putting on them is incredible. The glue walls are just immediately destroyed. GD cannot come close and come into the compound at all. Do fall. David, good one onto him as well. And Shiro, his position finally seen, forced to move back here. David putting in that damage to AGL, a quick reposition forward, and they are going to collapse. AGL cannot move forward.
What a beautiful rotation, man. That's perfection out of Thailand, perfection out of AGAL. But now, how do you deal with this chaos? Gun Dynasty have been pushed outside. They are at a disadvantage at this point of time. But when the circle starts closing on in, it's going to be trouble. Where will the zone move? Who does it favor? And Trap, what a nade. David taken out, but the time turner is active on their side. They didn't waste it earlier on, and that allows them to pick up their rusher instantly.
And it's really good.
One more.
Cycling! Nice shot and a knockdown coming in from Cypher's skill. Great work coming through here. Loud still has the upper hand advantage in terms of positioning. AGL, HP chunking down. The damage comes through, and Loud, all they have to do is just rush forward, and they're completely surrounded from every single angle. And Loud, once again, a booyah!
Second booyah of the day for Brazil. And they are not messing around. Got pushed down a tad bit. The performance at Purgatory, not the best. At Solara, it was decent. But this is going to get them right back in contention for the #1 spot for sure. AGL definitely going to be in the race for the top 3 here after a back-to-back performance. We saw them pick up a massive number of eliminations off of Purgatory, and they have gotten in towards that final circle here at Nextera with the exact same performance. Great play, I have to say, from both teams.
You know what's really impressive about AGL? The fact that in the beginning of the game, they're all around the map. We come to them finally after seeing those initial fights. Suddenly like, what? They already have 6 eliminations? Silent but deadly, but definitely loud toward the end as well. Felt like a bait and switch because GD was the one that had a compound, I would say, advantage in the beginning.
Yeah, and this was where it all came crumbling down for AGL. They went in, they took the house as their defensive compound. What they were not expecting was the play out of Gun Dynasty. And the play out of Gun Dynasty wouldn't have been forced if it wasn't for Loud. Loud started tossing those grenades at them. Gun Dynasty had to make a decision, and the only decision they could make was take the fight up against AGAL. And they played that perfectly, rushing straight at them. And again, I've always mentioned how David 444 is one of the most lethal rushes out there. And he took the fight straight up against them with the Mag 7, demanding a lot of points in that house, and he got it for their side. But towards the end, it just wasn't enough. AGL stood their ground really well with the defense, but they had to lose 2 players in that sequence as well, and Loud with the advantage just walked away with it towards the end. It's not always about the most aggressive. Sometimes it's about who understands the final circle better.
Yeah, you have the eliminations. You have to find that I would say, balance, right?
Yeah.
Between getting to that last few points with those placements, plus also getting those eliminations as well. And AGL has, I would say, AGL, Loud, Buram United have really good, I would say, grasp on being able to do all of this coming into the game. I think what's really fun to see as well is just the fact that for AGL, they know how to do the bait and switch. They know how to go for zone control. But I have to say that for Loud just now, they were just doubling down on that real estate. They know that they had the height advantage. They know that they can just really kind of keep out GD from their area and force GD and AGL to go for that fight. And all they have to do is just clean up house.
Yeah, and it's been very impressive to see this Brazilian squad so far, because yes, it wasn't a very aggressive Purgatory game, but if you look at their positioning placement in all 4 games so far has been phenomenal. We're going to take a quick short break now. When we come back, the final 2 games of the day.
अभी इसी तरह मुकाबला आगे भी चलेगा बिकॉज हम 4 गेम
Break out the drums because Brazil is showing up. 2 booyahs today for Loud, and my gosh, Neptune, this squad is consistent as heck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, imagine 2 booyahs and 3 times on the top 3 out of 4 games. And this is just something that we don't expect to see, especially in day number 1 out of this kind of competition. Most of the time in this level of competition, there's a lot of stealing of those booyahs. There's a lot of stealing of those booyahs. There's a lot of stealing of those quite well in position themselves and making sure that they are not out there being gunned down.
Yeah, and of course, Loud is so much better tactically when we compare to the other teams. They have the patience, they have the drive. Again, it's something so refreshing to see. But then again, it's a Brazil team. Are we even that surprised?
Yeah, exactly.